and friends in the ballpark during this Memorial Day, Major League Baseball and the Colorado Rockies would like to take a moment to pause and remember the brave men and women who made the ultimate sacrifice in service to our country. We ask that you please join us now in a brief moment of silence. Thank you. Fans, please remain standing and kindly remove your caps. Performing the national anthem today from the Navy Band Northwest is Chief Musician Evan Viss. Ladies and gentlemen, please join Chief Musician Viss by singing along to our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Here come the Rockies. Take a good look. You will see it for long. Always a solemn day, but a most important day. This Memorial Day where we honor those that have served our nation and paid the ultimate sacrifice. And we're glad you are with us to enjoy an evening of baseball and thank one and all for the freedoms that we enjoy on a daily basis. And on this Memorial Day, the Rockies welcome in their rivals, the San Francisco Giants. They just saw San Francisco last week at the City by the Bay. They split a 4-game set against him. Chad Bettis has seen them numerous times in his career, and he's looking for his first home victory of the year. And we're underway with a fastball down the middle, strike one on Gorkys Hernandez.
Well, for Chad, he's coming off a no decision against the Dodgers. 10 starts, 4-1 record, as you mentioned, Drew. All 4 of those wins out on the road. Where he's 4-1 with the 203 at home, 0-0 with the 689. Fastball, changeup, slider, curve. His changeup lately hasn't had quite the depth as it had early in the season, so he's going to get back to that today. And I thought in his last start against LA, he was a little too fine in that first inning. Threw a lot of pitches, 34 pitches to be exact, and then kind of the old Chad we're used to seeing.
Yep, he got away with one right there. That slider was in a very hittable spot considering it was an 0-2 count, but it was fouled off by Hernandez. Gorkys is hot. He's 9 for his last 17 at the plate. Another 0-2, and that was the good changeup. And he just got a little bit of it to keep the at-bat going.
Yeah, Gorky's hitting leadoff. He's hitting .315 with 5 home runs, 8 RBIs. He's known as a glove guy before this year. He was a 4th outfielder, but he would play spectacular defense. Now he's found a little offense.
Right, and the Giants been searching for guys who could provide them some offense, not named Posey or Belt. And that is a great pitch, but we got a problem here. There's no one covering first base. And that'll go as a base hit. Hit it about 60 feet, and he ends up with a knock.
No man's land. We talk about it down the line. I mean, this was no man's land. I think Ian thought he was going to be able to get to it at first, but Chad was going back, and he was pointing to Chad to go to the bag. The only hope they had was if Desi goes straight to first base.
Take us through the protocol then. Is there anything that should have happened, or was that just the perfect
unfortunately,
placement?
it's just perfect placement. It's like a nice little lob wedge on the green. That's what happened. I know what Ian's thinking, and people at home going, oh, he should have just immediately gone to the bag. But his first couple steps, he thought maybe he could catch that ball in the air.
So here's Andrew McCutchen after that fortuitous break for San Francisco. Desmond, hoping for a play, will not have one. It's back about 8 rows, so it's 0-1 on McCutchen. And as hot as Hernandez has been, that's as cold as Andrew McCutchen has been. He's 2 for his last 17. In fact, just 6 hits in his last 42 at bats. After the Rockies departed San Francisco, the Giants left as well. They went to Houston. That didn't go well. They got swept in a mini 2-game set there. They face well, when you face Houston, you're facing great pitching every night.
Yeah, one of the 2 teams like the Rockies that have only used the same 5 starters all year long. Justin Verlander pitched today for Houston. I mean, that's what you get. Verlander, McCullers, Dallas Keuchel. You got Charlie Morton.
0-2 on McCutchen. We had a 55-minute delay at the outset. There's still a little mist in the air, but it looks to be clearing. After they lost 2 in Houston, they went to play the Cubs at Wrigley. They lost 2 of 3 there, including last night, 8-3. And it was last night. They were on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball yesterday. They did not get into the Denver area till about 3 in the morning. This is in the air toward Carr going right. Tucks it away, 1 out. That'll bring up Buster Posey, and it takes us to the Southwest batting order tonight for Bruce Bochy. Posey missed the last couple of ball games with a hip strain. Brandon Belt's been swinging it great all year. He'll bat clean up. Then Longoria. Brandon Crawford has had a monster month of May. He's hitting over 440. Mac Williamson's back off the concussion. He missed that series against the Rockies in San Francisco. Kelby Tomlinson will bat 8th, and then Andrew Suarez, the rookie left-hander. Here's Buster, and he does damage wherever he goes, but particularly here at Coors Field.
Yeah, 382 with 12 home runs, 45 RBIs.
And here's the good news. He's just 2 for 13 lifetime in his matchups with Bettis. Again, he did not start the last couple of ball games with a little hip issue. Swung on and missed.
Such a key component of the Giants. You know, you think about, hey, where he hits and kind of compare him to Nolan. You took Nolan out of the Rockies lineup.
Yeah, absolutely different. You're 100% right. Agree with you 100% as well. Different kind of hitter than Nolan.
Yes.
Early in his career, he'd hit the ball over the wall. I think the wear and tear of catching. He's just a great hitter.
Yes.
Nolan, you expect to hit 30 to 40 home runs a year. You don't expect that from Posey, but you expect him to hit 300 plus and get a ton of clutch type of hits.
Well, all the catching, wear and tear on your legs.
Yes.
And that's how you hit. You know, a lot of your strength and the hitting come from your legs, and that's why they were thinking, well, do we move him from behind the plate and make him a permanent first baseman?
But he's so good with the gear on.
Right.
2-1, and there's a base hit the other way, and that will allow Hernandez to go first to third. I don't know what it is, folks, with the first inning this year for Rocky starters, because Chad's had a splendid season. We talked about it yesterday with Herman. Herman had a great ball game yesterday, but gave up another run in the first. His ERA is over 10 in the first. And for Chad, his ERA in the first inning is over 7.
Yeah, 7.20. Has allowed 8 earned runs and 10 innings pitched coming into today. That was right off the end of the bat. Nothing you could do placement-wise I mean, that's 2 balls in this inning. You got first and third and only 1 out, and the 2 balls combined didn't travel probably 140 feet.
And now you have to deal with a guy who's having a terrific year and has great numbers against Bettis. Brandon Belt, 8 for 19 lifetime, swung on and missed.
That's a good early sign on that changeup from Chad. There's the numbers you were alluding to, Drew. Belt.
Just missed at the bottom of the zone. 1 ball, 1 strike. Quinn Walcott's got the chores behind the plate for the umpire crew. Jeff Kellogg's the crew chief. He's at first. Marvin Hudson is at second. And James Hoy is at third.
That's a foul ball.
Yeah, it is a foul ball. The Rockies' ERA in the first inning, Huey.
Yeah.
Is like the planes you like to take overseas. 747.
Oh.
Which is the highest in the National League. Only 2 higher in all of baseball. The White Sox 864. Baltimore, what a miserable year they're having. They're over 10.
The difference, though, Rockies are in first place. Those 2 teams are in last.
Yeah. So I mean, straighten out some of the first inning. The Rockies are the only team above 500, in fact, in the National League West. At 28 and 25, they began the day leading the division by a game and a half, though Arizona beat up Cincinnati today down in Phoenix 12-5. Two-two, and Belt lifts this ball to shallow right. I don't know if you're going to run on Cargo. Nope, they're going to bluff, and this throw is cut off by Desmond. Well done by Cargo. And now they're 2 outs, and that's a big out getting Belt.
Huge, because a Belt has been their RBI machine. 31 RBIs on the year. But you got inside of him, Cargo behind the ball. You're not going to run on that arm.
Nope. Let's take a look at the defenders for the Rockies tonight. In left field is Noel Cuevas. Hey, you know, there's a lefty on the mound. Cuevas is going to be in there because he's played so well. Blackman and Cargo, Arenado, Story, McMahon, and Desmond around the infield. Again, Nolan checked out fine with the groin. A little bit of a mild strain yesterday. And Chris Ionetta's behind the plate. Here's the former Tampa great, Evan Longoria. And he swings and misses. Good job blocking the baseball by Ionetta. 2 outs, 2 on. Chad trying to get through that first frame unscathed. Hernandez. Can't even call it a bloop single. He blooped it over the pitcher's head, and then Buster's at first, and he hit it off the end of the bat.
Now that would be an injustice to say it was a blue pit.
Right. Be unfair to all the other blue pits of the world. And Longoria takes 2-1. Longoria, lifetime .333 hitter at Coors Field. He's been here 9 times. His days with Tampa. Tampa's the place the Rockies never go to. They've gone to 1 time.
That was way back in maybe 04.
It was right around there, 2003, 2004. You're right. And this ball's in the air, left center field. Can Cuevas get there? He cannot. And around third is Posey, and he's going to get a green light. Rockies have a shot at him. Here's the throw to the plate, not going to get him. 2-run double. Evan Longoria, and the Rockies once again are playing uphill. 4 games on this homestand. In all 4 games, the opposition scored in the first inning.
Well, the Giants had come in hitting 199 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. Subaru Supermo. Oh, Longoria pulled his hands in nicely to get this ball to left center field. And the relay just off the mark. They wouldn't have had Buster even if it was on the mark, I don't think. He got a pretty good jump at first base.
So here's Brandon Crawford. All he's done in the month of May is hit .443 with 4 home runs, and he's driven in 20. Takes ball 1.
Well, we saw the guy that might be runner-up to the player of the month in May yesterday in Scooter Gennett. But I think Brandon Crawford's got the inside track.
I would say he's got the inside track, though. You and I were, during the rain delay, were watching a little bit of the Reds-Arizona game, and Scooter had 3 more hits today.
Yeah.
That's
Crazy.
at the knees.
Crazy.
That was a weird game because, again, Cincinnati lost 12-5, and I didn't see the final totals, but Cincinnati at one point had 16 hits, and Arizona had 11. 11's a nice total, but they were losing by 7 runs, the Reds were. 1-1, 1-2.
The Reds also had 3 errors in that game, so maybe that contributed to a few of the.
That doesn't help.
No.
And Scooter got a base hit, and he kind of shrugged and had a smile and that sheepish grin on his face. You know, hey, it's an easy game right now.
Arizona had 11 hits since he ended with 16. Homer Bailey with the loss, 1-7.
He may find himself in the bullpen. This is popped up to left center field. Cuevas and Blackman, Charlie waiting. He'll make the catch. And Chad, who has struggled as well in that first inning, gives up 2 on the 2-out double by Longoria. Out of Evan Longoria, and the Rockies are behind 2-0 as they begin things here in the bottom of the first inning, naturally with Charlie Blackman, who had a great series against Cincinnati, a couple of hits in each of the 3 ball games. Southwest batting order tonight for Buddy Black. Cuevas will bat in that 2 spot in front of Nolan. Trevor Story, he's swinging it well. He'll bat cleanup. And then Cargo, first 4 hit game since September of 2016 yesterday for him. Ian Desmond hit a home run yesterday. Chris Iannetta, Ryan McMahon, and then Bettis to face the 25-year-old rookie Andrew Suarez, who is out of the University of Miami. 2nd-round pick a few years ago, the Giants.
61st overall in that draft in 2015.
The first pitch is in there for a strike. His last 3 have not gone well. He's lasted just 14 total innings over those 3 ball games, and he has a 9 ERA.
He has given up 22 hits. We saw the arsenal a moment ago. It is fastball, cutter, curveball, changeup. Fastball's bonus batting average 393. He gets almost 50% of his strikeouts on the cutter. A little bit like Kyle Freeland in that regard.
He's handled lefties pretty well. Lefties are hitting just 200 against him. Righties, another story.
Yeah, 345, 6 home runs. And that 345 batting average. Lefties 200, not a home run yet.
Rockies have 3 lefties in the lineup, as this is pounded foul. Blackman, Cargo, and Ryan McMahon. We said this in the open, which was a while ago because of the rain delay, but with Cargo, he probably wouldn't be in the lineup tonight if not for what he did yesterday.
Yeah, I think 4 for 4 with a 61-foot home run gets you back in there.
Charlie, as I like to say, Huey, on a fact-finding mission. When he comes back to the dugout, and it's hopefully after scoring a run, there's going to be a lot of guys that will visit with him. Rockies have never seen Suarez. And unfortunately, he's going to give him information right now.
That was in the Subaru strike zone, 92-mile-an-hour fastball, and that's what Suarez averages.
Let's take a look at San Francisco defensively. Typically their infield is airtight. Mac Williamson is back in there in left field. He had the concussion. He missed better part of 3 weeks. Hernandez, actually a month I should say. Hernandez in center. McCutcheon, the former center fielder, in right. Cuevas, a base hit. Love singing his praises. He's ready to go, whatever his role is. And he comes out firing that wand, doesn't he?
Yeah, I like that. I was just going to say that, Drew, because he's used to coming off the bench most of the time. Now, he'll start a couple times a week with the lefty going, but he's firing at this first pitch on the Subaru Supermoto. He's kind of attacking this like a pitch hitter. Just because it's a different role for him today's game, he's not making it a different role for what he needs to do.
Do what you do well. Play your game, right?
Exactly.
So here's Nolan. Boy, he had a long home run yesterday as well, his 10th of the season. That's way outside.
Well, what was good about the home run yesterday from Nolan is he had a kind of the right center field. Way out into the bullpen of the Cincinnati Reds.
This guy, the scattering report we got on Suarez, is much more consistent arm side, which is away from righties.
Well, just look where he stands on the rubber, on the extreme first base side. You know, because of that, it's hard for him to get the ball in to right-handers. PG at the top of that list.
And Nolan 317, Desi 316 lifetime against Giant pitching. 2-0 to work with. And that's 3-0. This is a young man who, as we said, his last 3 have not been good. It's just his 7th big league start. The club's 1-5 in his starts, and now he's at Coors Field. And I don't care what people told him. Kurt Young said, don't worry about the ballpark. But listen, it's not like he has a ton of confidence right now after his last 3 outings.
No, if it's 3-0 coming in here, it'd be a different story. But no, this it's gotta rattle him a little.
And now he has 2 on. And here comes Trevor Story, who loves hitting lefties.
Trevor 306.
And he hit better than 300 last year against lefties.
Yeah, he's 19 for 62, including 5 home runs.
Career at 294. Against southpaws. And overall, we keep saying it, he's in a really good place. That's foul. One out, Cuevas at second, Arenado at first. Outfield straight up for Trevor Story.
Deep in center and left.
Colorado trying to counterpunch here in the first. And this ball's lifted high and deep left field. Way back. Take a good look. You won't see it for long. Rockies weren't down long, were they?
No, they weren't. They got 6 home runs now against left-handed pitching on the year. 11 total for Trevor. 38 RBI.
Just reached down, didn't try to do too much with it, and hit it about 400 feet. 3-run jack, Trevor Story.
That's how you answer a couple runs in the top half. Go ahead and make it a 3 spot and go up on top. This ends up 10, 12 rows deep in left field. He knew it. He knew it when he hit it. Better look here on the Subaru Supermo. Try to flip a little curveball up there. Trevor says, I won't have any of that.
Argo swings and misses at a cutter. It's 0-1. The exact distance on the home run, 409 feet. And just like that, the Rockies are back in front, 3-2. Cargo with a bouncer toward Bell, and a flip to Suarez for out number 2. Fans, when the Rockies score 7 or more, as they did yesterday, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the following day between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special. Live Boss at Taco Bell. Ian Desmond preparing for his at bat. Desi had only 1 hit in the Cincinnati series, but it was a big one yesterday. A 2-run shot to right center field, his 9th of the year. And you know what it enabled Buddy to do? Get Nolan Arenado off the field a couple innings early.
Yeah, because that extended the lead for the Rockies. That ball ended up traveling a distance of 406 feet. Ian says that hit it.
And it did. So Desmond will go down to first. And that'll bring up Iannetta.
Well, if you're Bruce Bochy, too, you're going to be thinking about the depth of your bullpen, because last night Ty Block didn't go very deep. So they had to roll through a few pitchers last night. Pierce Johnson did give them 3 innings. That helped out. Where does get him on the Subaru Supermo? Oh, his back, his right toe.
Desmond will draw a throw. Rockies at close to 83% success rate on stolen bases, leading the National League in that department. Boy, it looked Saturday night like Chris was going to be one of the heroes for the Rockies. Remember, Colorado was down 6-5 going to the bottom of the 9th. Leadoff man gets on, and then Chris boomed a double to deep left. Second and third, nobody out. Bases ended up being loaded with nobody out, and you know the rest of the story, so I won't dredge up bad memories.
Thank you. Have a good feeling after yesterday's game.
Yep.
2 of 3, second home series win of the year.
Three runs in here in the first inning on the Story bomb. I'll tell you something that was wild that came out of the game yesterday. The last 2 games, the Rockies have produced 11 hits Saturday, 14 hits yesterday. Do you know that's the first time, Huey, this year that the Rockies at home have had back-to-back games where they've had double-figure hits? I mean, that used to, the Rockies would go 5-6 games in a row, 7 games in a row.
Yeah, common occurrence that it would happen at home where they'd have double digits.
It's only the second time overall that it's happened this year.
Yeah, on one hand I could say, yeah, I see what you're saying. On the other hand, no, we've watched the games, and a few times you come down, they're going, they only got 7 hits. They only had 8 hits.
Iannetta with a slow roller to Kelby Tomlinson. Had some English on it. In the inning, the Rockies, who began the frame trailing 2-0. Trevor Story took care of that with 2 men aboard. He boomed a long home run to left. His 11th of the year. 3-2 Colorado going to the second.
men and women who served our country and died in battle serving with the armed forces. There's 535 professional baseball players that have died in service, 12 of those being major leaguers. I think it's important always whenever you put on a major league uniform to acknowledge just the people that have allowed you to have this freedom to play every day. I know the players appreciate it. I know we try to say thank you and give our gratitude as much as we can, but from all the baseball players that I've ever been around, from the Colorado Rockies, I do want to say thank you to the men, the women, the families who have served and have lost family members. Thank you.
Well put, Spilly. Mac Williamson is at the plate, and he is looking now at a 1-1 count as he faces Chad Bettis. 7, 8, and 9 for the Giants, and Spilly said that's a big number of players through the years that have served, and the 12 big leaguers who lost their lives ultimately, and there's some enormous names, gargantuan names in the game that had served. Ted Williams famously served. Willie Mays lost, I believe, a year and a half or so to military service.
Oh, late Jerry Coleman down in San Diego.
The Colonel. And Jerry, I believe, served in 3 different wars. World War II, Korea, and I believe the early stages of Vietnam. You wouldn't find a finer gentleman than the late Jerry Coleman. This is right at the second baseman, McMahon, with the shift on. Williamson is retired. Kind of an unfortunate first for Chad Bettis. I mean, the first hit by Gorkys Hernandez, the bat blew up in his hand, and he hit, I don't even want to call it a sand wedge. The thing went 65, 70 feet, but it went over the head of Chad into no man's land. And then Buster's hit through the right side was, was a proverbial 37 hopper, basically.
Yeah, right off the cupped end of his bat.
He just hit it in the right spot.
Yeah, I mean, both of those were. But then Longoria's was legit, but that's the way it is sometimes. And Chad's got to just rebound from that, which he normally does.
He's so strong mentally, and we know how well it served him in his battle against testicular cancer a year ago. But it has always been part of his makeup. It's why he is resilient. It's why he's been successful as a pitcher. And he's gone through trials and tribulations. A guy who threw really hard, then a guy who had a shoulder injury, as you look at the curveball striking out Tomlinson. And then let's not forget, starter, relegate. I don't want to say relegate, it's unfair to put it that way, but move to the bullpen and then back into the rotation. And that's a lot.
Well, and remember, too, I think it was probably 3 years ago now, where they kind of backed him off because he was trying to change mechanically, even at the start of spring training. Remember, he didn't come out of the gate right away. He was working on a backfield, just doing his thing, because he knew that he needed to get it straight.
Well, I think with anybody that's successful in any endeavor in life, you have to have perseverance. And at this level of the sport, doing what they do, throwing the baseball, you better have a lot of it. Suarez hits it right back to Chad, and this is a quick and efficient second inning for Bettis. You got Williamson, Tomlinson on the strikeout, Suarez on a little comebacker. Rockies up 3-2. Sportsnet is brought to you by Subaru. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. And by USAA. Join USAA in honoring our fallen heroes. Well, we had a beautiful weekend. We dealt with some rain showers here late in the afternoon, delayed by 55 minutes. Again, not nearly as warm as the last couple of days, but I think it's going to turn into a pleasant Memorial Day evening. Ryan McMahon batting 8th will lead things off in the 2nd inning. The Rockies got a base hit from Cuevas, a walk to Arenado, and then a 3-run home run from Trevor Story to erase an early 2-0 deficit. Facing Andrew Suarez. Suarez, a Floridian by birth, and went to the University of Miami collegiately. He's interesting. He was drafted out of high school in the 9th round. Turned that down. Drafted his junior year in the 2nd round. That's usually automatic. You're
right,
gone,
you're going to go.
There's going to be plenty of money in the 2nd round. He turned it down. He wanted to move into the 1st round. So as a senior, he was drafted again in the 2nd round, this time by the Giants. And that is a base hit. Welby Tomlinson couldn't come up with it. Left on left, good to see from Ryan McMahon. Chad Bettis will try to move him along. Tell you a little bit more about Suarez in a moment, but Jeff has something very important to tell you.
Well, yeah, because For the Win is brought to you by Pizza Ranch. And cut the Giants down to size. Remember last year, Drew, in the 10 ball games here at Coors Field, the Rockies were 9-1. They scored 7.5 runs a game on average, and the starting pitcher's ERA in those games, 3.29. So channel your inner 2017 if you're the Rockies.
I like it. Chad staring down at Stu Cole. Bond. Bond.
But for Chad, he steps up in the box, so get a little closer to fair territory. Bunt towards first.
Off the plate, 2-0. Anyhow, it's Suarez, that's unusual. You get drafted in the 2nd round,
yeah.
Usually you're going to go. So the Giants ended up taking him his senior year out of Coral Gables. And he shares 2nd round status with the guy he's facing tonight. Chad Bettis was a 2nd round pick out of Texas Tech. Chad.
But usually when you're taken in the 2nd round as a junior, you don't have as much leverage your senior year.
I wonder what he ended up signing for versus what he was offered as a junior. I can almost guarantee you. Well, I don't want to guarantee anything, but I would be very surprised if he didn't take a haircut on what was offered after his junior year. Because again, you have no leverage.
That's
your
what I'm
senior
saying.
year.
Yeah. Well, okay. What are you going to do? Not sign? Go play independent ball and
go postgraduate baseball. That's a good ball. And Posey will get it to Tomlinson. You love to see offensive execution at the bottom of the order. You get a knock and a sack, and now a couple of chances to bring that run around. It'll begin with Charlie Blackmon.
7th sacrifice bunt by the Rockies pitchers on the season. First one for Chad.
Charlie has some knowledge now on Suarez. He saw about a half a dozen pitches, ended up looking at a fastball in the outside corner for strike 3. Blackman's hitting 5 straight to the tune of a 400 average, starting to heat up.
He was trying to go to the left field. Remember yesterday the ball he took to left field off of Wandy Peralta? He was kind of just blocking it over that way, and with the Giants playing the big shift on him with Brandon Crawford right up the middle, he got left on left. He's thinking, well, if I do that again, I'll have another RBI. Well, they hit 333 with runners in scoring position.
And that's a strike. Charlie, we've spoken about this frequently. He has 12 home runs, 11 out on the road. The only home run he has at home came on April 22nd against the Cubs. So he's due. Okay, another reason there's a high probability he goes deep today.
Yeah.
On the last 2 Memorial Days, he has gone deep. Got a run going.
I'll do you one more too.
What do you have?
Well, the other home run he hit against the Cubs, the left-handed pitcher, Quintana.
It's got to happen.
Right? The stars are aligned.
Slam the gavel down. It's a done deal. Inside on Chuck. Pretty much fastball cutter. That's interesting. Pretty much fastball cutter to lefties from Suarez. And that's on the ground to Crawford. 2 outs as McMahon goes to third. And that'll bring up Noel Cuevas, who got that rally going in the first with a sharp single through the 5.5 hole.
If Noel stays as aggressive this at bat, I mean, that's kind of in his nature. But I'd also be thinking, well, I jumped on the first one last time. Will they lay another one in there?
There's the cutter on the outside corner for a strike.
I think Noel had the same game plan.
Said earlier, typically when Suarez comes in, he doesn't double up coming in.
No.
See if Noel,
and even if it's
makes some hay away.
Yeah, another cutter, it's trying to start it out. Well, that was
fortunate because fastballs, cutters in the dirt are hard to handle. There's not an expectation it's going to be in the dirt.
But he also had to worry about the feet of Cuevas. You know, how close to the feet is it going to hit?
Yep. Two-one. Out over the plate, line shot, but Longoria gloves it. And Noel did all he could do, found the barrel. 3-2 Colorado going to the third. Top of the order coming for the Giants. Question. Go to AT&T Sportsnet RM on Twitter to cast your vote, and then you hang around for the post-game show and we'll tell you the results at that point in time. How do you recognize Memorial Day? Attend a parade or a service, fly the flag outside the home, visit a cemetery, or as all of us today did at the ballpark, a moment of silence Chad Bettis ready to go against the top of this Giant lineup in the third. Gorkys Hernandez had an infield hit and scored in the first. And this ball is well hit to left and gone. Tie ball game. Hernandez with his 6th home run. You just can't get him out right now. He's 11 for his last 19. 9 of his last 18 hits have gone for extra bases, including 5 home runs.
Like an off-speed pitch from Chad. No, it was a curveball in the Subaru Supermo, and then that just was a spinner. Gorkys deposited it in the seats. That was just a spinning curveball that acts like a BP fastball when it's all said and done.
Andrew McCutchen to third. That's a fair ball. Is Nolan going to be able to pull this off? And that short hop, Desi unable to come up with it. So it'll go as an infield hit for McCutchen.
That was right over the bag, right on the line. Right over the bag. Nolan gets it. Just get rid of it. And now for Desi, it's that in-between area. If it hits on the grass, it's going to scoot and you'll be able to get it. Or if it's a little bit closer to him, you can reach out and pick it. Desi's trying to get it, but it's that in-between, or where's it going to go on the Subaru Supermo? Goes off the end of the glove.
So that'll bring up Posey with nobody out in a 3-3 ball game. Gorkys Hernandez has 11 career home runs, 6 this year. In his career, 4 of those 11 have come against the Rockies. Previous high in home runs in a season was 3.
He's also working on a 10-game hitting streak now.
He and Brandon Crawford and this guy and Brandon Belt, those 4 have been the offense this year for the Giants. Good pick there by Iannetta with the glove. 2-0.
For the Giants, has been their starting pitching. Matt Bum being out and Johnny Cueto.
Matt Bum's coming back soon. We were talking the other day about the nice outing Antonio Sensatella had for the Isotopes. He's done a really nice job in all of his starts down there. He faced San Jose, and Bumgarner threw that night. He was dominant. In his next outing, they want to get 75 pitches out of him. His next outing will be at the big league level, I'm sure.
After that one, after his 75 pitch.
After the 75 pitch one, barring any sort of setback. It's 3-0 right now on Posey. He's going to have the green light. Right on the outside corner, knee high. 3-1. Belt's on deck.
Raindrops starting to fall again. That's sun rain.
Ground ball to third. Nolan, will he have a play at first? Nope. That's a tough chance, and now you have 2 on with Belt coming up. You've been at third, and you got to come get that baseball, and it's kind of, you know, all or nothing, isn't it?
That's right. He started to think, well, if I go back, then I'm going to have a chance, and now I've got to go get it. This is 2 balls now for Chad that, you know, you just kind of have to shake your head at. That will go down as an error for Nolan, his 4th of the season.
Belt hit a shallow fly ball to right his first time. Swung on and missed. Belt's hitting 13 out of his last 14, batting .400. Giants have been good at home, poor out on the road. They're 14-10 at AT&T, just 11-18 out on the road. And this is not hit particularly hard. There's 1 on the first. They got it. That's well done. Pays to have a cannon at shortstop, and Story After the good feed from McMahon, able to beat Belt. That is a huge, huge double play. 4-6-3.
55th double play the Rockies have turned. Watch the footwork from Ryan to get that ball where Trevor can handle it. It's up high, so the transfer is much quicker for Trevor. So high, and now he just is able to get back on top of it, throw Belt out by a step on the Subaru Supermo.
Longoria breaking ball for a strike. Evan had a double to drive in 2 in the first inning with 2 outs. Three, top of 3. Changeup sailed inside. Surprisingly for Belt, not just the second time he's hit into a double play this year. That was a big league turn.
That was. And the ones you have to turn at the big league level. Ryan, don't forget that this is just the 3rd game that Ryan has started at second base. And he made that turn like he'd been playing there for a while.
We had Jeff Bridich on yesterday. And Jeff said throughout the system, it is a big point of emphasis that all the infielders and all the outfielders know how to play multiple spots. There's Jeff. In other words, just because your primary position is shortstop doesn't mean you're not going to get reps at second, reps at third, maybe even at first base.
Smart.
Yeah, especially in the National League. Positional versatility. That's high. And from an outfield perspective, you know, it's one thing if you're, you know, average or below average speed wise and you're a slugger, you're playing left field. But most of the Rockies have made, again, a point of emphasis of drafting and signing guys in Latin America that can play all 3 outfield spots.
Just don't know where your chance might be. A chance for Nolan right on the money. Well done. Get out of that inning.
Home run by Gorky's Hernandez led the inning off. He ties it up. Arenado will lead it off when we come back. Toyota Talk. Coors Field on this Memorial Day with Jeff Houston and Ryan Spilborghs. I'm Drew Goodman. The Rockies 3 and the Giants 3. Rockies 11-11 inside the NL West. Only one team above 500, and that's Arizona. They're 16-8 against their brethren in the division. Problem for the Diamondbacks is they've had a very poor May, and they're not beating many of the other clubs. Rockies have taken advantage to a certain degree, leading the division now by a game because Arizona won earlier today. And Nolan hits a tapper back to the mound. 1 out.
Back to that double play, and we'll show you some numbers on the Subaru StatCast. Impressive. You get Ryan McMahon to Trevor. Look at that exchange. Less than a half, or a little over half a second to do it. And the arm strength, 81.2 miles an hour on that throw.
Well, Story provided the Rockies with instant offense. 2 men aboard when he came up in the first. And he reached down and hit one well over the wall and left. His 11th home run of the year. He leads the club with 38 RBIs. One of the league leaders in driving folks home. Trevor got a season high 6 games without producing a ribby until he did this on a breaking ball in the middle of the plate.
Last week against San Francisco, he was 8 for 19 in that series. Traded over in the first at bat today. A little excuse me swing at the top of the Subaru strike zone.
Those are no fun.
No, they're even worse though when you dribble it back to the pitcher on the excuse me swing. Those are no fun. Now you still have 1 strike left.
Two and two. Cargo's on deck. Three on the left side. 2-2. 3-2. Big shout out to German Marquez yesterday after giving up a run in the first. 6 shutout innings after that. He goes 7 innings for the 2nd consecutive start. Had a superb outing at Dodger Stadium, and he was superb yesterday. The Rockies won 8-2. Ground ball to third, and Longoria bobbles for a second. Not going to get him. You are never going to get Trevor with any kind of bobble on the left side.
Well, we've seen 2 balls in the last inning. 1 to Nolan, 1 to Longoria, where you're caught in between. So Longoria is trying to go, which way do I go? Which way do I go? Well, I've got to play it back on the Subaru Supermo. And then it ends up hitting him right in the stomach, drops it. And for a 3-time Gold Glover for Longoria, he now has 9 errors on the season. Most in the National League.
See if the Rockies can take advantage. Cargo bounced to first in his initial at bat, and he takes a strike down at the knees. One of the things Cargo's been working so hard on in the cage with Dwayne Espy and Jeff Salazar is not getting so rotational with that leg lift, Huey.
Bring it up and then go back directionally towards the pitcher. Because if you get too rotational, if your top half starts to rotate too much, what do you have to do to come out of it? You got to rotate out of it. And then that makes your swing long. And then really the only thing you can do then is to cut your swing off and roll over the top of the ball with your top hand.
This ball sharply hit, and it's on through for a base hit. Story's going to get the third easily. And Cargo's now 5 for his last 6. And to see him barrel a baseball, I know it's on the ground, barrel a baseball left on left, that's a good sign.
Great sign, because you did it 4 times yesterday, and now you're getting a chance against the lefty. He stays on that one on the Subaru Supermo. And even Kelby Tomlinson can't reach it. Goes off the edge of his glove. Now it's 1st and 3rd. Rockies in business again. And Cargo 5 for his last 6.
Got to feel good. Number 1 for Cargo. Number 1 for Cargo. But for Buddy, he knows the kind of player Cargo is. He watched him for years when he wore a San Diego uniform. He said, you know, I'm putting you back in there after what I saw yesterday. And then to see that.
That ball was 115 miles an hour off the bat.
That's what I mean. I don't care that it was.
The Rockies are a better team when Cargo's hitting. No doubt about it. Why do you think they re-signed him?
Nobody says it better than Buddy. He said, for the Rockies to be the best version of the Rockies, we need Cargo to beat
Yes,
Cargo.
indeed.
Here's Desi 1-0. Now 2-0. Well, the average is unsightly when number 20 steps up and sees it up on the scoreboard. But over his last 9, he's driven an 8 with 3 home runs. So
When he said,
when he puts the ball in play with authority, usually good things happen.
home runs in the last 3 series.
San Francisco and LA on the road, and then yesterday at home against the Reds. 3-3. Rockies with a chance to go ahead again. Story at third. He doesn't need an exceptionally deep fly ball.
No. And everybody in the outfield has what I consider average arms out there. Nobody is just going, oh man, that can't hit it to him.
Good take. 3-1.
And right now, I know you're in the driver's seat, Desi, but get the ball up. Get the ball up, something that you can hit to the outfield. Don't play into his hand where he's trying to turn something over and you reach for it and you hit it on the ground.
That's not on the ground. Well, it is ultimately. It's on through for a base hit. A low line drive, and the Rockies take a 4-3 lead. Nice approach for Ian Desmond. Big ribby there.
Yeah, thinking up the middle, that's 26 RBIs for Desi. But if we watch where Buster Posey was trying to set up, what were they trying to do? They were trying to go up. They didn't get it up on the Subaru Supermo about mid-thigh. And he rips this one right up the middle. Desi getting that foot down, wants the hands in a good launch position, and then barrels that one up straight on the Subaru Supermo.
So the Rockies take advantage of the bobble by Longoria. He's got his hands on his hips. And now Suarez staring into Chris Iannetta with 2 on and still just 1 out.
I like this. Every time Giants thought they had something, Rockies have answered.
Chris got off to a great start the first week or so of the season, and then obviously cooled off dramatically. He's average at 221, so I'm thinking he's fixing to get hot again. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tony Walters was behind the plate yesterday, giving attaboy to Tony. 2 for 3 and a walk. He's been swinging it well lately in his starts. But Chris in his last outing, single, double, walk. He was 2 for 3.
Both guys putting in a lot of extra work in the cage. Oh boy, generous call on the Subaru. Strike zone. Chris not happy.
No, the only thing he could say to Quinn Walcott is, I hope we get that pitch next half inning.
One.
Fastball at 92, wide, 2-2. Chris strikes out for out number 2, and that'll bring up Ryan McMahon, who had a base hit last inning.
Right, a line drive up the middle. Fans, all kids through the gates for the Rockies Diamondbacks game on June 9th will receive an MLB Play Ball Weekend wristband.
Talking to Ryan in the dugout today, and one of the things he told us was when he went down to Albuquerque, he wanted to get back to number 1, what he does well, and that is he uses the whole field well. He said, I want to start getting back to hitting the ball to left field. Well, we saw last night a double to left field.
It's a natural tendency for somebody when they, either first get called up. I know this wasn't just the first time Ryan had been called up, but his first opening day roster, that you create things in your mind that I've got to do more. I've got to pull the ball more, or I've got to do this or that instead of playing your game.
Ooh, a called strike 3 right on the edge, and that'll end the inning. The Rockies do take the lead, ultimately on a base hit by Ian Desmond. 4-3 Colorado as we go to the 4th.
Hit the first of his 660 career home runs off Warren Spahn, Memorial Day. He would also go on to miss the 1953 season for military service. Little side note for you, Warren Spahn as well served in the military. In fact, Warren Spahn suffered shrapnel to his leg, ended up getting a Purple Heart, a Bronze Heart, a battlefield promotion, and presidential citation. So thank you again to all the servicemen and women who have fought for our country, laid their lives down for our country. It's not lost on us today.
No, it's not, and it shouldn't be lost any day. And Spilly, Willie Mays was in service all, he was in service all of 1953, but really most of 1952 also. He played in only 34 games in 52, which was his second year in the league. And you start thinking, what kind of numbers would he have put up?
Well, I want you guys to think about Ted Williams. This is the guy I want to get to. Ted Williams flew in 39 combat missions, including getting shot down during the Korean War. Between 1943 and 1945, Ted Williams was serving in the military. He missed 3 seasons. He ended up with 521 home runs. I mean,
and missed 3 seasons.
And missed 3 seasons. The year before, he was leading baseball with basically the Triple Crown. He got the Triple Crown and then went and served the country. Crazy.
Got another note on Willie Mays, Spilly. So Willie came back in 54, and really he hadn't played in the big leagues basically 2 years.
Yeah.
You know what he did in 54?
MVP.
He was the MVP. This is a bouncer to Desi. Nice pickup, and he goes underhand to Bettis to get Brandon Crawford. How about that?
This is kind of a head shaker when you think about it, to miss all that time to come back and win the MVP award.
Well, think about this. You and Spilly, missed times, some time at different junctures of your career.
Yes.
And you usually go on a rehab assignment, right?
Right.
Missed 2 years?
Yeah. What do you do? Where do you go to rehab that?
This is going to be a tough play for Nolan. Bare hand throw to first, out by a step and a half. He gets Mac Williamson. I'm great, and I'm hacked off that I had a miscue earlier. So Williamson pays. Took an infield hit from him.
Well, Nolan coming in with the bare hand. He just off his right leg, strong throw to Desi.
And Huey, nobody appreciates it more than Bettis, because Bettis has kind of got nickel and dimed, other than Gorky's Hernandez home run. Longoria's double was clean, but everybody else who's reached, for the most part, you know, been infield hits, bloops, bleeders to the right side. Yeah. There's a solid hit for Tomlinson, though Cargo was going to go Little League on him.
Well, another guy that also served, Rocket Bob Feller. He missed 42 through 44, and he still won 266 career games.
Yeah, Rapid Robert Feller.
Van Meter, Iowa.
I think that's right.
Right off of I-80, outside Des Moines. Take that trip from Omaha to Des Moines on I-80s, right off.
That's right there?
Yeah. Closer to Des Moines.
Spilly pronounces it Des Moines.
Isn't that how you say it?
No, Des Moines.
It's French.
Yeah.
Des Moines.
There's a strike on Suarez. Spilly's great uncle also, this is a little known fact about Ryan and his ties to the big leagues before he arrived as a player. He was driving the motorcycle when they were timing Bob Feller's fastball. Remember, the motorcycle went by.
He threw the ball.
He threw the ball, and they surmised that he threw it like 100 miles an hour, right? Spilly, how did, because you have your cousin races, right?
My cousin was a professional motorbiker.
Right.
Should be an easy play. I'll save this story for when we get back. I got to go.
Okay. And some of it's actually true, so I can't wait for this. 4-3 Colorado. Nice inning for Chad Bettis. Good play by Nolan Arenado. He's a solid defender. This is what Spilly does during rain delays, every rain delay. He wants to help out because
he's a helper.
Yeah, that's Spilly. Whatever you need at whatever time.
Why didn't he just wait though and kind of wait till the sandbag came further down so he didn't have to run as far?
False hustle, is that what you're accusing him of?
Saying, calling it eyewash? I'm just calling it eyewash. Call it what I see.
You call what you see. What do you call this? This is a poncho.
A mess.
It's a trash. Actually, it's a trash bag with a hood on it. I teased a story earlier. I was talking about, you're talking about my family. Well, my grandfather was in the Belgian army. And back after World War II, there was the occupation of Germany. And my grandfather was part of the Belgian army and was driving a General Sherman tank along with many other American soldiers. And so we always reflect on Memorial Day in different ways. My father served for the Belgian army, but served alongside U.S. Armed Forces during that time frame. So it's always kind of cool to see the pictures. My grandfather had these great pictures, and we tried to get him to understand baseball a little bit more, because back during that time frame, everybody was talking about Ted Williams and all the other great players, but he just didn't understand it. Never understood it.
You know what? That is a neat story, though. That is a neat story. 4-3, Rockies leading. Bettis takes strike 2, 2-2. Suarez, the Rockies got 3 against him in the first on a Story 3-run homer. And then they saw Story reach on an error in the third, and then Cargo singled, Desmond singled to produce another run. 3 straight strikeouts, 4 overall for Suarez, and that'll bring up Charlie Blackmon, who has struck out and hit a ground ball to short.
Let's see for Charlie, 3rd time facing Suarez. 3 looks at somebody like Charlie, you start to get a better feel of where the release point is.
Well, as tough as it has been this year so far for the Rockies offense, good things start to happen the 3rd time through the lineup for Colorado. They're hitting close to 300 if they see the same guy a 3rd time, and that 296 mark is 3rd best in the National League. Quickly 0-2.
Charlie saying that ball is down. Both those pitches just catching the bottom of the Subaru strike zone.
And a called strike 3, and Blackmon is not happy with Quinn Walcott.
See Charlie argue too often. Well, once he called the second one on the Subaru strike zone a strike, they went right back to the same location. Charlie said, "What do you want me to do?"
What we don't know is, did he say to Quinn, is that the bottom of your zone? And if he said yes, and then the next pitch, a little bit lower, that may ultimately get the shrug of the shoulders. Like, you just told me that that's as low as you're going to go.
Good point.
Cuevas, a little roller to second, and that's the best inning for Suarez. 1, 2, 3, including 2 more strikeouts. So we move to the 5th inning. The Rockies up 4-3. Southwest Airlines, low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. Well, we go to the top of the 5th inning, and it's the top of the order once again for the San Francisco Giants. Gorkys Hernandez, who's been a pain in the neck, Andrew McCutchen, and Buster Posey. Hernandez 2 for 2, a single, and a run scored in the first, and then he hit a tying home run in the 3rd. Tied it at 3. The Rockies have since taken a 4-3 lead. Hernandez 7 for 16 with 3 home runs already this year in 5 games against the Rockies. Chad's fastball is a strike on the outer edge. 0-1. Giants is 1-4 so far on an 8-game road trip. And that's line, fortunately, right at Desmond. Guess that's how you get him out these days.
Well, that kind of makes up for that first inning hit that he got.
McCutchen will be next. He had an infield hit in the 3rd. Two big off-season trades for the Giants. They went for veteran stars on the other side of 30. McCutchen and Evan Longoria, a team that lost 98 games last year. Very un-Giant-like.
They finished 40 games out of first place, last in the division.
Charlie, who is toward right center field, moves over toward left center field to come up with the catch. 2 outs, and that'll bring up Buster Posey.
Well, come to the ballpark on June 10th for the First Responders Night and show your support for the men and women who dedicate their lives to responding to emergencies. Get the ticket package for a limited edition hat. Visit Rockies.com/responder for tickets.
So Buster Posey, a single and a run scored, and also reached on an error on Nolan Arenado, of all people. Cutter off the plate. Buster Posey's always been a picture of consistency. This year is no different. Against lefties, he's hitting .294. Against righties, .298. And this is on the ground to second. In between hop, handled by McMahon. Good inning, Chad Bettis. So we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. The Rockies 4, the Giants 3. Memorial Day, join USAA in honoring our fallen heroes. And some of what took place prior to first pitch tonight. into a most pleasant Memorial Day evening, and the Rockies up 4-3, trying to build on that lead over the Giants. Drew Goodman, Jeff Houston, Ryan Spilboards. It'll be Arenado, Story, and Cargo, 3, 4, and 5 against Suarez in the 5th. Nolan a walk and a run scored in the 1st. Little comebacker in the 3rd. Nolan 3rd in the National League in slugging at .574. He's 2nd in the league in on-base percentage at .417. We're going to get him here on a fly ball to McCutcheon. You know who's leading the league in on-base percentage?
No, who's that?
I thought it was the guy that just departed from Denver, Joey Votto. You know, you never wrong, right? You never wrong selected him, and he has an on-base percentage over .400. It's another first baseman. It's Freddie Freeman. Freddie's #1.
Well, that whole team, that Atlanta team, 9 games over .500.
And you know who's #3? Brandon Bell. Story fouls that pitch off, launched a 3-run home run in the 1st when the Rockies were down 2-0. Reached on an error and scored in the 3rd inning. Here's the 1-1 to Trevor. Change ups away, 2-1. Just the 7th big league start for Suarez.
1-4 on the year. His 1 win came at Pittsburgh back on May 11th. He made 4 minor league starts prior to his call-up, where he's 2-0 at the 116. 5 games over in his combined minor league career.
Two. Doubled up on the changeup, then went fastball up and away. 3-2. It's hard to crack that rotation with the Giants if you're a young pup. I mean, they always lean toward veterans.
I think that's a little bit what Bruce Bochy likes, not only just out of his rotation, but his team. You know, if you think back to lately what the Giants have had, they've usually had a veteran-laden team.
Yes, and they started to build their, and you can almost call it a dynasty. When you read 3 world championships in 5 years, that's rarefied air. Strike 3 on Story. Now he's incensed at Quinn Walcott. He can't believe it. And that pitch is right on the corner of the Subaru strike zone. Strikeout #6.
A bit better look on the side. Right at the knees, but I think Trevor thought that one was away.
Argo, a sharp single his last time up, 115 miles an hour off the bat. And he takes a strike right at the bottom of the zone. Listen, it's established. I mean, you want consistency. You guys have always said that as players. I want to know what the strike is.
Well, now you know
like
it's down.
It's down. He's calling a low strike. Cargo didn't hold up, according to third base umpire James Hoy, and it's 0-2. No, but they started to build that dynasty when they Matt Cain, Tim Lincecum, young arms, Madison Bumgarner. But once those guys grew up, when they would fill in the blanks, it was even guys like Ryan Vogelsong, who'd been kicked around, went to Japan. It wasn't puppies
no,
anymore.
it wasn't call somebody up from AAA to have them be the 5th starter.
No. And when they needed a starter a couple years ago, they went and got Johnny Cueto.
Yeah, they would go ahead and trade 2 or 3 of their young guys to bring in that veteran presence.
Johnny just began playing catch again today. Bumgarner's close to coming back. 2-2, and there's a strikeout of Cargo. So that is 8 in a row, set down now by Suarez. The Rockies, though, do have the lead 4-3 as we go to the 6th.
Today was the 40th running of the Boulder to Boulder. There was over 50,000 participants today. It's the 4th largest, 3rd largest 10K in the United States. 6.21371 miles. Boulder to Boulder. Basically, get out and jog or walk, do something. My family took me out today, made me run 3 miles. Exhausting. Guys, I liked it though.
Spiller, you know how we love to correct you?
I said Boulder, Boulder.
Yeah, Boulder, Boulder. Not Boulder to Boulder. It's, you know, it's already in Boulder, stays in Boulder, finishes at Folsom Field. But
I'm
we're
so
going to get you.
proud of
We're
you,
going to get.
though.
Yeah.
How many times have you run it, Drew?
Years ago, I would run it every year.
Okay.
And then kids came along, and baseball came along, and so I haven't been able to run it in a while. But that's a great one. Seriously, that's one of the great citizens races in the country. And we were just in San Francisco for one of the other great citizens races. That one Spilly did run in. I'm not going to tell you the costume.
Right.
The Beta Breakers.
Beta Breakers? No, thank you.
Look, running's great for you, regardless if you're in costume or not in costume.
That's what I was going to say. I'm proud of you for running 3 miles. I'm glad Stacy got you out and going today.
Oh, yeah, they got me out today. They took the dad out for a run.
Stacy left you before you guys were out of,
yeah, she
you know,
lapped
down your block.
That's okay.
Yep.
I don't mind playing chase.
Did the kids beat you as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were on scooters. Not fair.
Bell, 2-2. Did you think about at any point in time Spilly doing the Rosie Ruiz from the New York Marathon years ago?
Okay, is that the one that took the shortcut?
Well, yeah, she took a cab to the finish line. That's sort of a shortcut. That's a base hit to right.
First hit tonight for Brandon Belt. Into the game hitting .315, where he's a career .271 hitter. Over 50 points higher on the year. He also has 11 home runs, where his career high is 18.
He leads the club in virtually every offensive category. Now Longoria, 2-run double in the first and a ground ball to third to end the 3rd inning. See if Chad can induce a ground ball here. Poke foul. It's interesting looking at the Giants' stats this year. Offensively, they're middle of the road, and they play at AT&T Park, so they're never going to lead the league in offensive stats, just like the Rockies typically aren't going to be anywhere close to leading the league in pitching statistics. But the Rockies have pitched much better than the Giants. And the Giants have swung the bats well. This could tie up the game. Belter out third. He's coming home, and he's going to score on another double by Longoria. It's 4-4. Evan Longoria has driven in 3 of the 4 Giant runs.
Both times with doubles to the same place, a left center field gap. And he'd come in by leaving the most guys on base in the National League. He left 94 runners out there. But it's his 15th double this season for Longoria. Now the Giants have tied this up 4-4 with another hot guy this year, Brandon Crawford, coming to the plate.
Crawford in this game, a fly ball to center and a ground ball to Desmond. Desmond's guarding the line at first, and no swing. Crawford 2 for 25 against Chad Bettis. And that's grabbed by Chad. He's got to play at third. Out there, and then a wild throw. And that was a turn, but Crawford gets back. He had turned towards second. The Rockies catch a break because Nolan's throw is nowhere close to Desmond. And it hit the fencing and kicked back as opposed to going in and visiting Spilly in the camera well.
Well, and where that camera well is, there's only netting halfway up over there. So first Chad makes the play. They get the lead runner Longoria, but where it hits the wall, there's an open space, but it didn't go in there. Right back up to the glove on the Subaru Supermo. Chad, strong throw to get Longoria. So there's the first out. And here's the camera well I'm talking about. A lot of open space right through here.
There's a slider for a strike. Spilly, how close was that to
It was very close. It hit right on the top of the net. Now, more importantly, right now, since it's starting to get closer and closer to summertime, the sun sets right behind really like the third base concourse area, and it's right in Ian Desmond's peripheral vision. So any ball coming from the left side of the field is going to be difficult. We've seen Nolan bounce throws before. It's going to be a situation where Desmond and Nolan have already communicated, hey, the sun's in my eyes.
Well, Desi is sporting the glasses, but that only helps minimally.
That's a great heads-up play by Bettis to cut down the go-ahead run. Now you're in a situation where ground ball can get you out of the inning. 4-4 after the Longoria double. Crawford's at first. Mac Williamson at the plate. He's hit it on the ground twice.
Yeah, once to Ryan and once to Nolan.
Home run hack fouled off.
We got a hanging pitch from Chad.
Huey, the footwork for Ryan McMahon, who doesn't have a ton of experience at second, will be interesting on a ball to the left side because he's on the left side.
Yeah, and it's going to be an interesting throw for whoever's making that, whether it's Trevor or Nolan.
Foul ball or no foul ball? Nope, strikeout.
No, strikeout.
So Williamson gone, 2 outs, and that'll bring up Tomlinson.
That's kind of a moot point now for Ryan. Turned over that changeup. Subaru Supermo. No, it was not foul. That went off the dirt. Nice pick from Chris.
Tomlinson, a strikeout and a base hit. And there's another base hit. And now Pablo Sandoval is going to hit for Suarez. Pablo Sandoval, the second baseman.
Yeah, first start last night in Chicago for Pablo at second base.
And played well.
Yeah, he did.
Some of the action for the Panda at second. Look at that play.
Knocked it down, got the out at first. He also had an infield single in the first inning. On a chopper in the hole to short, beat it out.
Signed that large deal in Boston, didn't work out there. Now he's back in San Francisco where he's very comfortable, but he's just a part-time player, he's a role player, but he has been, by all indications, great, because he loves not only to play, but he loves being around the ballpark, and he's a breath of fresh air.
And his teammates love him.
Yep, he's adored by his teammates.
The Giants aren't paying a lot of his salary. Boston still is.
Yeah, which makes him like him a little bit
Well,
more,
yes.
right? He's just won for his last 15, and he takes strike one. Jack trying to keep it a 4-4 game. Crawford the go-ahead run at second here in the sixth, and Tomlinson's at first. And a line drive to left, base hit. And the throw toward the plate is cut off, and the throw to third. He's not going to get Tomlinson. Sandoval a pin single, and the Giants take a 5-4 lead.
Pablo takes a pitch away from him, serves it to left field. It's a changeup that stayed on plane too much. Didn't have the downward action. Well, comes up. He fires. He did the right thing, though. Keep it low enough so Nolan could cut that off. At least have the option to go to third. They did, but Kelby Tomlinson slid underneath the tag. Even with the drop, he was going to be safe.
This game keeps seesawing back and forth. The Giants got 2 in the first. The Rockies a 3-run home run in their half of the first from Story. Giants tied it up on a Gorky's Hernandez home run. Hernandez at the plate right now. Rockies went ahead 4-3. Now the Giants in front 5-4. Chad trying to pick off that elusive third out. In the last couple of starts for Chad, the changeup has not been as sharp, and he needs that pitch.
Well, that's his go-to pitch. That's his money pitch.
This is popped up right field line. Cargo and McMahon. Cargo will make the catch. 2 runs for the Giants in the sixth. They lead 5-4. As we go to the bottom of the sixth, Desmond will lead it off.
day or non-game day meeting or special event. Groups of 15 to 200 will enjoy great views of the city as well as a field from a new unique venue. The Rockies in a seesaw affair here, trail by 1 as they head to the bottom of the 6th inning. New pitcher for the Giants, Reyes Maranta. The 1.52 ERA, that is the lowest among San Francisco relievers. The 15 for 84 equals a 179 batting average against with just 2 extra base hits. And for Maranta, 96-mile-an-hour fastball, changeup, and slider.
He goes slider to begin the at-bat with Desmond, ball 1. In a lot of ways, he's been their most consistent guy coming out of the pen, Maranta. Iannetta and McMahon will follow. 5-4 Giants now in the bottom of the 6th inning. And Desmond, a roller to second, and it eats up Tomlinson. That'll be the second error on San Francisco on the evening.
Well, they come in with just a .981 fielding percentage. That was 14th in the National League, 28th in all of baseball. And for Kelby Tomlinson, that's his second error. That just a clank off the wrist on the Subaru Supermo.
Yeah, he really wasn't close to that.
No, it wasn't like it just went off the edge or maybe hopped up and caught him in the heel. He got no leather on that.
High ball 1 on Iannetta. Speed at first at Desmond. The pitcher for the Rockies, Bettis 2 doors down, so the Rockies most likely will go to their bench. Harrison Musgrave warming up for the Rockies. Will Smith on the left side for San Francisco.
Might get a hit and run sometime in this at bat.
And Iannetta is a good hit and run man, and you have, as we know, speed at first base. And Desmond, I know that Buddy has affection for that play.
It just creates another avenue, another hole for a hitter.
Not going to happen now. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, now if you're Ian, one, you can look to steal, but also look for a ball down in the dirt. If he overthrows a breaking pitch.
Chris hits it off the end of the bat down the left field line, and it is going to elude the glove of Evan Longoria. Gave it a heck of an effort.
He ran a long way for that ball.
Suarez goes 5 innings, by the way. 4 runs, 3 earned, 5 hits, a walk, 7 strikeouts. Did hit a batter. Maranta goes to first. Rockies last year just absolutely owned the Giants in Denver.
Yeah, 9-1 in the 10 games at Coors. And they owned him on both sides of the ball, offensively and the starting pitching against the Giants.
Yeah, in the 10 ball games here in Denver, the Rockies had an ERA in the 3s against San Francisco. And they averaged 7.5 runs a game. Low 3s, in fact. Their ERA was .329 against the Giants last year here at 20th and Blake. And Ionnetta's gone 1 out. And that'll bring up McMahon. See if he gets Will Smith. Yep. Boch mixes and matches maybe more than any manager in baseball And some managers will do it a little later in the game. Boch will do it in the middle innings. And 6th inning is still considered, you know, a middle inning deal. And here comes Will Smith in to face McMahon. And also the knowledge that the Rockies are heavy with lefties on their bench.
Now pitching for the Giants, number 13, Will Smith.
Line of work in the entire world. They do a lot for us, and sometimes they take heat when they shouldn't.
Thank you to all the men and women that serve our country. I really appreciate you all giving us the opportunity to come and play baseball every day.
As do we, to come and watch the best players in the world. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Will Smith comes on for the Giants. The Giants lead 5-4. Rockies have Desmond at first. He reached on an error by the second baseman, Kelby Tomlinson. Ionetta struck out on an off-speed pitch. Ryan McMahon 1 for 2.
I see the numbers on Will Smith. He just came back after missing the previous 13 months with Tommy John surgery at the beginning of May. Already 12 appearances for Will.
Lefties just 2 for 13 so far against Smith. Daniel Castro on the in the on-deck circle for Bettis. Actually, let me correct that. It's now Gerardo Parra. Rockies on their bench have Parra, Dahl, Castro, and of course Tony Walters. I say of course because try not to use your backup catcher unless it's really late, like Buddy did the other day. He pinch ran on Saturday night. Chris Ionett at second when Chris represented the winning run with Walters, because Tony runs much better than Chris.
The other thing too is you got a couple extra outfielders and just one extra infielder. So you want to keep that one extra infielder in reserve too. So
With
that's
Castro.
with Castro, yeah.
Though Parra was taking ground balls at short this afternoon. He does that periodically. Desmond takes off, big jump, no chance for Posey. It skips into center field, and a late decision now by Desmond, and he'll get to third. And that was big in that he's the tying run at third base with one out. But Desi, I thought, he was on the ground. I thought he wasn't going to be able to get up in time to move up on the throw by Posey. And watch here.
Well, he steals the bag, so that's his 6th stolen base, and then he has trouble picking up and deciding, well, where is that ball? Oh, there it is. I think I can still get there. And then for Gorkys Hernandez, he made that throw on the run like an infielder.
3 errors on the Giants. Hook to first. Belt's going to come home, and Desi is out. that's a situation where if you can keep it in the middle of the diamond, you're going to get the run. When you're going on contact, teams do that typically with one out, especially when you have plus speed. See where Belt is, and it comes right out.
Right to him, and then Desi goes right to home and tried to do a dance with Buster.
He's out 3-2 on the fielder's choice. McMahon at first. Parra hitting for Bettis. Footnote on that stolen base by Desmond. It's 16 straight for the Rockies, 2 off their club record. Left field, an easy play for Mac Williamson. The Rockies do not take advantage of a couple of errors by the Giants in that inning. So we'll go to the 7th with the Giants in front by a run. Performance. Chad Bettis got nickeled and dimed in the first, and then gave up a 2-run double to Evan Longoria. Longoria drove in 3. In fact, this evening against Chad, he gives up 5 runs in 6 innings. He allowed 10 hits, didn't walk anybody, struck out 2. And the Rockies made a move before the ball game, and you hope this one is a very short DL stint for Adam Ottavino. He strained his external oblique. Now there's external obliques and internal obliques. The internal oblique, if that's a strain there, Scott Oberg comes back, by the way. That's more serious. This is up in the ribcage area on the external side. Talking to Keith Duggar. Much better. Similar injury, as Huey pointed out earlier, to what Chris Russin suffered. And he was just a 10-day stay on the DL and was able to come back and pitch. And obviously you hope that for Ottavino, because he has pitched at an elite level this year. Well, and now it'll be Harrison Musgrave in the 7th.
Yeah, for Otto, he's been that guy the 8th inning that he just put so much trust and faith in.
Well, if the Rockies had the lead going to the 8th, you knew they're going to win pretty much, because you had Otto in the 8th and then Wade Davis in the 9th. 2, 3, and 4, McCutchen, Posey, and Belt. So Musgrave's not going to get an easy grouping, if you will. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, we always say this in athletics. When somebody goes down, somebody's got to step forward. And the Rockies need some of those other big names in that bullpen who've struggled to turn things around, especially in Otto's absence.
Yep, Most certainly have to, and it's a chance now for Harrison to pitch in a different role in a game that it's just 5-4 in the 7th inning.
Yeah, this isn't mop up, you know,
No.
+6 or down 6
Well,
kind of thing.
Yeah, the last time Harrison pitched was the 20th at San Francisco.
1-2 on McCutcheon. Slider down and in, 2-2. Tell you something else that needs to change, Huey. The Rockies, when they lead after 6 innings, they're 22-3. Good.
Yeah.
When they're tied, 6-1, outstanding. When they trail, as they do right now, 0-21.
Yeah, that's definitely got to change.
McCutcheon had an infield hit in the 3rd inning. He's 1 for 3. I hate when that happens.
Gonna get stuck
when
in
I want
the
a
fence.
souvenir
Yeah.
and I can't pull it out of the fencing. Swung on and missed, so Musgrave strikes out McCutcheon.
Hey, finally got it.
We're going to send him some WD-40. We saw one the other day where the ball got caught. Do you see that baseball got caught in the top of the fence?
Yes.
I forget what game that was. Posey swings and misses. Was that James Vigil? And yeah,
Oh, that's Chris.
there's Chris. We're getting all excited, folks. It's kind of inside stuff. But Allison Vigil, our outstanding producer, that's her husband and one of her 3 kids, James. Oh, baby James.
Well, they're out of school now. They're coming to the ball game all the time now.
As they should.
Uh-huh.
Two strikes on Posey. Cutter in. Just a smidgen too much. 1-2. Good pitch. Posey a 2-hopper to 3rd. 2 gone. That'll bring up Bell. How'd you like to be the Mets or Braves tonight, Huey? They're playing
a doubleheader, right?
Yeah, they got the day-night thing going,
Uh-huh.
right? So the first game started at 1 o'clock Eastern, and
Yeah.
it's over now, but it was delayed by rain at one point.
Don't tell me the other one's delayed.
Well, the other one got delayed enough that the first pitch was literally a couple of minutes ago, 10:05 Eastern time.
Had some rain there on the East Coast. See all the flooding just outside of Baltimore,
Yeah.
Ellicott City.
How
That's
close
why I
to
like-
Frederick is that?
Well, it's probably 30 miles or so. Frederick, they're on the road now. They got rained out today. They were down in North Carolina. They got rained out. So
The reason we asked about Frederick is the voice of
Frederick
Frederick.
Keys.
is none other than Kyle Hewson. This is pop foul and out of play. So the Mets and Braves are going to. What'd you do last Memorial Day? I spent a month at the ballpark.
Probably ate them out of all the food too in the clubhouse.
Calling Los Angeles, trying to get some Dodger dogs FedExed over. Mayonnaise too. If Fraziers in New York.
Fraziers, yeah, for sure.
Ball and 2 strikes on Belt. Make a pitch here. He did. And that's a great job by Musgrave through the tricky part of that giant lineup. So we'll stretch on this Memorial Day. The Rockies trailing 5-4. 5-4 San Francisco. The Rockies will have the top of the order coming up. We'll sit back and enjoy a rendition of God Bless America on this Memorial Day 2018.
Fans, please rise as we honor our great country with the performance of God Bless America. Performing God Bless America today, representing the Navy Band Northwest, is Chief Musician Evan Viss. Please welcome Chief Musician Viss and join him by singing along to God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the to the prairie, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
All right, fans, remain.
The Rockies took 2 out of 3 from Cincinnati. 5-4 Giants as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Blackman, Cuevas, Arenado. Achieving More is brought to you by AT&T. And we'll do Achieving More in a few moments. We're going to tell you that Will Smith stays on to face Blackman.
And I think
we'll probably see a pitching change.
Yeah, and then we'll see Sam Dyson after that, who's out in their bullpen right now.
Blackman 0 for 3 after 3 straight 2-hit ball games against the Reds. Ball 1. A couple of strikeouts looking. Charlie, I guarantee you won't look at another low strike.
No.
With 2 strikes.
Might not even get to 2 strikes.
Rockies had a real good opportunity, Huey, in the 6th inning to tie up the game. Desmond, after reaching on an error, stole second. Posey threw the ball in center field, so Desi was at third with 1 out. But Ryan McMahon hit a ball right at Belt, and on contact, Desmond was going and was thrown out by Belt easily.
Well, here it is, 2 strikes to Charlie.
Rockies have been out hit 10-5. The Giants have committed 3 errors. Rockies have an error. And this is bounced toward Tony Diaz. Tony wants nothing to do with that. Don't blame him.
No. The difference on the errors on the season, Giants have committed 41 errors, the Rockies just 18.
That's enormous.
Right, 41.
Usually think of the Giants playing really good defense. 1-2, serve to center field's got to get down, and it will. So the Rockies have the tying run on as Charlie has his first hit of the night. And here comes Boch. And I was just a little bit early a moment ago with Achieving More, brought to you by AT&T. Maybe I'm early again. I know at some point I'm supposed to read this. I really do. I'm told that I'm supposed to read this. So here it is. Achieving More, brought to you by our friends at AT&T. National League average since April the 30th, Brandon Crawford, 438. We put it out there because Noel Cuevas in part-time duty has hit 366. There you go. That's Achieving More, Huey, with AT&T.
Way to read
I'm going to get that thing in.
And you did. And now we're going to go to break because we have a pitching change.
That's what we're told to do, and we're going to do what Allison says. We'll be back. We promise.
Noel Cuevas had the first-hand opportunity to see Carlos Gonzalez hit a ball in the third deck. Check this out.
I mean, I've watched them growing up on TV all the time, and they show it, and I've never gotten to see it in person. So yesterday was the first time I was able to see his bat flip in a home run like that. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to stare at him. And it was magnificent.
Maybe we'll get a chance to see Cuevas do this from the right side. Here's Cuevas acting out his favorite player. Pretty good.
Real good.
How about that? He's seen him do it so many different times, but never actually saw it in person.
But it never gets old. I don't care how many times. We've seen it numerous times. And it's still a thing of beauty.
It's magnificent.
I'll tell you another funny story about that home run cargo hit. There's Doogie, the Rockies' head trainer. Runner goes, and the throw's going to get him right on the bag. Posey made a perfect throw. And Charlie Blackmon cut down. Remember, the Rockies had stolen 16 in a row.
Yeah, the last time they had been thrown out was April 29th at Miami. And now we're sitting on the 28th of May, and it did take a perfect throw to get Charlie. You don't even have to move your glove if you're Kelby Tomlinson.
So Dyson with a one-strike count on Cuevas, and he fouls it back 0-2. So Keith Duggar was upstairs doing a little work on Adam Ottavino. This is before Adam did his oblique. It's, you know, normal. I want to say pregame, but it's in the game, and that's not unusual.
No, relievers.
Where one of the trainers is helping one of the late inning guys get ready, and they're watching the game in the training room on the television. And Doogie, when the count got to 3-2, as Cuevas is gone, when it got to 3-2 on Cargo in that at bat, he said if he throws him one down, he goes second deck. And Otto looked at him and he goes, nope, third deck.
No.
And he called it, and they jumped up and down screaming, because literally as the pitch went to the plate, he was down, and then Cargo sent it high and deep and
forever
toward Bolivia. Nolan with 2 outs. Off the glove in.
Dyson's reestablished his career with the Giants.
It was a rough ride in Texas last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was so much that they got rid of him.
You know my theory on most relievers.
Every other year.
Good year, bad year. Good year, bad year. Certainly not all of them. I mean, guys like Wade Davis, pretty darn consistent. The elite guys seem to be pretty consistent.
Last year between Texas and San Francisco for Sam Dyson, 6.09 ERA. Guys hit 296 against him. That'll get you released.
Yeah. But he's been good in a Giant uniform. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nolan 0 for 2 and a walk. Off the plate.
Well, let's not forget, in 2016, Dyson had 38 saves for Texas.
It's a good, experienced arm. And it fits the mold, as you were discussing earlier, with Bruce Bochy, the kinds of guys that he likes populating his roster.
Yeah, kind of been there, done that, guy.
Sure, especially when it comes to pen guys, the way Boch likes to mix and match. 2-2. Two it remains.
Step out, smart. The pitcher dictate the pace if you're Nolan.
So many tight baseball games this year that the Rockies been involved in. Down a run here with 2 outs in the 7th. Shot toward right field. Tomlinson comes up with it. And he just did get Nolan. Any question, I think, about the groin was answered on that sprint to first by Arenado. Got up the line pretty well by his standards. 4-3 the throw out. Well, the Rockies were behind early, then took a 3-2 lead on the 3-run home run by Story. It's gone back and forth, and right now the Giants are up 5-4. Off the bench, Pablo Sandoval, an RBI single. Good crowd on this Memorial Day as we go to the top of the 8th inning. Second inning of work for Harrison Musgrave with Jeff Fusen and Ryan Spilborghs and our entire AT&T Sportsnet crew. I'm Drew Goodman. And Musgrave working to Evan Longoria, who's had a couple of doubles and 3 driven in today. Take strike 1.
Yeah, 15 pitches, 10 for strikes for Harrison. Excuse me, make that 11 for strikes.
Harrison quickly ahead 2 strikes on Longoria. Longoria, Brandon Crawford, Mac Williamson. First 3 RBI game for Longoria since April 29th against the Dodgers. This is in the air to Cargo.
Get your tickets now for the Dodgers' first visit to Coors Field this season, June 1st, 2nd, and 3rd at Rockies.com. That's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And for the Dodgers, Clayton Kershaw's coming back, and he's going to start on Thursday.
Sure, that was very upsetting to the Rockies clubhouse that he would miss the Rockies series here. There's Brandon Crawford, and that's sharply hit, but it's right at McMahon. And Crawford's 0 for 4. He's barely made 4 outs in the month of May.
There's some more information on Clayton Kershaw. Bicep tendonitis. He's dealt with some back issues in the past.
That's why you never look at record. He's 1-4, but he still has that stellar ERA, 2.86.
He's got an opt-out of his contract at the end of this year.
That'll be very interesting for me to see what he does, because the last 3 years, I think it's 3 years now, he spent some time on the DL each year. He's had back issues. Now the tendonitis. Obviously, there's a lot of wear and tear on that arm. He's a Hall of Famer, a first ballot Hall of Famer if he retired tomorrow. You opt out, you may not get the same amount of money that you think, especially if you look at what transpired this past offseason.
Yeah, but could the Dodgers let him go for all that he's done for that organization?
I would think not, but we'll see. That's down the road. Nolan, a nice play, and a great job by Harrison Musgrave. He faces 6 hitters, and he's retired them all. Rocky's got to get to work on offense. Southwest Airlines, low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. By Wells Fargo customers, get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets by visiting wellsfargo.com/Rockies. And by T-Mobile, show your military appreciation and use the hashtag #HatsOffForHeroes. T-Mobile will donate $1 for each post. Bottom of the 8th inning on a cool Memorial Day at Coors Field. The Rockies trailing 5-4. And one-time closer for the Pirates with the Dodgers last year, Tony Watson, now a Giant. And he's going to face Trevor Story, Carlos Gonzalez, and Ian Desmond. Gregor Blanco in defensively for Mac Williamson at left, and that almost hit Trevor Story. Trevor, a 3-run home run back in the first. He reached on an error by Longoria and scored in the third. 1-for-3 officially.
It's Tony Watson's 497th career game.
The fastball not with the same zip that he had in Pittsburgh. I mean, he was a 95 to 97 guy.
Easy cheese. Now it's 91, 92. The interesting thing with Tony this year, we saw the high batting average against the lefties hitting over 300 against them. Right-handers 217.
Well, that's reverse splits, right? Didn't expect that.
I think it goes back to the velocity. You know, when you're throwing 91, it doesn't have the same movement.
Well, case in point right there. 2-0 for Tony Watson a couple years ago. That's fastball every time, right?
Hit it if you can,
right?
Yeah.
He went off speed 2-0 against Trevor. It's going to go out of play. Over Spilly's head and the camera well. 2-2.
In addition to Watson's, some of the batting average against, first 15 games for Tony, 0.57 ERA. The last 7, over 7 for his ERA.
Two and two. Able to stay back again on an off-speed pitch.
We're commenting about that today during batting practice with Trevor. You and I were just do it every day. You go out and watch batting practice. We talk about guys, watch swings, and we just noticed Trevor, you know, just easy up the middle the other way.
There's balance.
Yeah, but very soft on the landing foot.
3-2. Pointed it out, the strikeouts had dropped about 10% from the first 3 weeks of the season. And you look at what he's done the last month or so. Trying to reach here to begin the 8th. Cargo on deck. 3-2. And that's a rocket up the middle. So Story with those great wheels aboard. How about that, AB?
Really nice. AB, 7 pitches. Tony Watson. Hit this one right back up the box. He couldn't get his glove up fast enough.
Cargo tonight after going 4 for 4 yesterday, 1 for 3 tonight. The one was a sharp single in the third that came off his bat. What did you say, Huey? 115?
115.
3 on the right side. Cargo lays down a bunt and it goes foul. And that's a great idea with just Longoria on that side. Create some traffic.
The only problem, it had the ball came into his hands. It was a little too far inside. Right idea, right, almost perfect execution, but that's a tough ball to try to hit to third base because you start to have to manipulate the bat too much. So watch how it comes in towards the knuckles. See how he just barely got that top hand and that finger out of the way.
Well, since that didn't work out, hit one in the gap. Work under right. Story's going to go first to third. Carlos Gonzalez staying hot.
Do it, Cargo.
First and third, nobody out in the 8th.
What
And Buddy Black's confidence in him after yesterday to face a lefty borne out this evening. He got a hit against Suarez. He gets a hit against Tony Watson. That came off the bat also.
Yeah, because the mechanics are right. So you got the hits yesterday. The mechanics are right today. And he rips this one past Kelby Tomlinson. We talk about Trevor being more balanced. Cargo's more balanced. And then for Trevor to understand, even though how that ball was hit hard, I can go first to third on McCutcheon in right field.
Knowing outfielders' arms,
right.
knowing where they're stationed.
Prior preparation.
Desmond an RBI in the 3rd, trying to tie the game up. I couldn't tell, was that low and he pulled the bat back, or
No,
was it foul? It was a foul ball, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
It was low.
Cargo's base hit earlier, we said, came off the bat at 115.
Yes.
That one, it was on the handle, evidently, 111.
Wow.
He is finding the barrel. Great speed at 3rd. Good speed at 1st. Nobody out in the 8th.
Wade Davis up in the Rockies bullpen. 2-run lead. Throw him out there and in this thing.
0-1. That's fouled out of play.
That's right on Spilly.
Yeah.
I got hands like a dolphin. I wanted no part of that.
I don't blame you. You don't have a glove, bud.
You should have heard how many people were screaming as loud as me.
2 strikes. Desi's got a battle here. Infield in the middle, set for 2. And Desi hits this ball down the right field line. McCutcheon will make the catch. Here comes Story home with the tying run. Ian Desmond behind, 2 strikes. Gets it done. 5-5. Boy, that's a big AB right there from Ian Desmond.
Yeah, getting high fives from everybody. But he's going to go right to Trevor, too, and say, way to get to third base for me. Make my job a little bit easier. I like the cut down swing. The ball's away from him. I'm just trying to get it in the air. An abbreviated follow through. He's looking the whole time at McCutcheon because he knows that Trevor's going to be able to go back and tie this game up, and he did.
Now Ionetta at the plate. 0-1. Okay, off the bat, Huey. I was thinking that may drop, but
yeah.
McCutcheon with the center field wheel still was able to close quickly. Not every right fielder in the National League's getting to that baseball.
No, a center fielder who's playing right fielder can.
Yep. Ionetta looking for his first knock tonight. He's out front again on the off speed. It's a 2-strike count. Ryan McMahon on deck. Did he hold up? Well, those are ones
you
at the
hold
plate,
your breath.
you hold your breath, right?
Yeah, because you started your swing, but then at the same time you're trying to get out of the way.
And sometimes it can be interpreted as he went around. Fortunately, it was not interpreted that way by Jeff Kellogg at first.
No, you know what? He did.
Good call. Down the line, foul.
Trust your gut, pick the right player, and get one step closer to winning $5.6 million. Download Beat the Streak today in the App Store or on MLB.com/BTS.
Back up the middle. Oh, man. Was that caught in the air? It was.
Yeah.
Double play. What a play by Tony Watson. But the Rockies even it up. Story, Cargo, back-to-back hits. Desmond, a sac fly.
Jim Kavnar with Corey Sullivan and his thoughts coming out on television. We're getting ready for the Toyota post-game show, hopefully a victorious one. Love the way that Cargo's been swinging the bat. You called it. When he's on great against lefties.
Yeah, when you typically see Cargo locked in and he gets lefties that typically throw 93 to 96, anytime he is locked in, he will hammer a fastball against them. Osich, Mad Bum, it just seems like maybe it's just the Giants, and Desmond having a great at-bat as well.
Yep, situational baseball to get this game tied up. We will see you guys right after the ball game. For now, we'll send it back to Drew and Huey.
All right, Jenny, Corey, thank you. Wade Davis, when you're at home, the closer comes in when the ball game's tied in the top of the ninth. Appearance number 24 for Wade. League baseball with those 18 saves. He's going to try to get the Rockies to the bottom of the ninth, give them an opportunity to walk off the Giants.
Well, and for Wade, those 18 saves tied for the Major League lead. 18 leads the National League. 90% save percentage, not a save chance here. But I think the other good thing for Wade too is he had that whole half inning to kind of prepare for that. Once Trevor got to third, he knew that it was going to happen, that they were going to tie it up and he was going to be in this game.
Tomlinson, Blanco, Hernandez. Kelby Tomlinson broke out of a little slump. He was in coming in. He's got 2 hits tonight, 2 for 3.
He'd been 0 for his last 13 and just 3 for his last 29.
This is the 1-0 from Wade. And this is a tough play, and Desi stayed with it. It's one where you go down, you're hoping the ball gets close to you, because if it lands in between you, we take us through that.
You're worried about how far it might kick away from you then, and Kelby Thompson has a little bit of speed, but he and Desmond, watch, he gets down and like he used to play it short sometimes, and then just use the big glove one-handed. For Ian, he's 3rd in the National League in fielding percentage. Adrian Gonzalez is at 1,000%. Eric Hosmer 998, Desi 997.
That was a big first out. Now here's Blanco, his first at bat. Came in a double switch in left field last inning. He gets a breaking ball for a strike. It's 0-1. Outfield medium depth, straight up. Sliders inside. 1-1.
Blanco has some pull power if it's an off-speed pitch. Most of the time, though, he likes to slap it the other way.
A slap kind of swing. 1-2. Rockies in the bottom of the ninth will have McMahon. One would assume David Dahl pinch hitting, and Charlie Blackmon. There's Armack. And he's going to get a chance here. 2 outs.
Well, it's Hunter Strickland warming up out in the Giants pen.
And nobody's with him, and that's a little unconventional. Again, road team usually will hold their closer back. But Bruce Bochy, who's always been a master at working a bullpen, has not always done the conventional.
No, and you know, maybe since he did the double switch earlier, he'll leave Tony Watson out there to face McMahon and then see who the Rockies announce.
I think that's more than likely. He's going to try to get multiple outs because he knows it's unlikely the Rockies would go to Castro. You're going to have Dahl swing the bat.
Yeah, and then Charlie's after him. So you got 3 lefties in a row.
Yep. There's the 1-0 on Hernandez, who all of a sudden you look at when he's at the plate is a real dangerous guy.
Well, he clipped that one for a home run in the 3rd inning.
3 home runs against the Rockies in 5 games. 2-0. Big Wade Davis.
Unflappable.
Unflappable and oftentimes unhittable.
The last 6 games, just 2 hits allowed by Wade in 5 2/3 innings.
With 2 outs, here's the 2-1 on Hernandez. 3-1.
Well, that was a strike to Charlie.
Charlie, if you can hear him yelling in from center field. Where's that?
Where's that pitch? Right? Look at the bottom of the Subaru strike zone. 4th pitch. Charlie was called out on one down there.
Ball 4. McCutcheon. That's right in the middle of the zone. Now Buddy Black. Well, where's that? You pointed this out yesterday. East and West, when you're on the side, you can't really tell. You rely on your catcher. You'll ask your catcher, Chris, is that away? That kind of thing. But when it squares up the catcher, so to speak, and it didn't square him up, but he had set up away, and Buddy can see that, and therefore you say, wait a second, that from a height standpoint, that's there.
Yeah, and the other thing too, where the umpire's sitting, that's a clear view right into him. It's not like he's set up in and went away and you have to look over his shoulder.
So McCutcheon, 1 for 4. This one hit was an infield hit. Crowd of more than 32,000 tonight. Hernandez bluffed at first base. Top of 9.
That was just a courtesy throw over.
Let's see, I have not forgot about you.
Yeah, that's all it was. Gorky's 2 stolen bases on the year. Been caught 1 time.
missed. It's 1-2. I think when you hold the baseball, you know this from a base runner standpoint, it kind of freezes your feet. I think a lot of times it locks up the hitter too. Huey, did you find that?
Yeah, because you're expecting a certain rhythm from a pitcher too. So once he starts to hold the baseball, it freezes you at first, and then you start to get tense at the plate. Your hands start to grip the bat tighter. It's not as free and easy.
See if Hernandez runs here. Nope. 2-2. Ron Wotus, the former bench coach for years, now coaching third for the Giants. There's Ronnie.
Great baseball man.
Yep. Crowd involved, 2-2, another check, and this one more the A move from Wade Davis on Gorky's Hernandez.
2-2, then they can put some running play back in motion even more. I know 1-2 is a running count, but a lot of times managers like to go 2-2.
He takes off, and he'll steal the base, standing up. Pitch was low, 3-2 now.
Just kind of had that feeling on 2-2 he was going to go. He did. Third stolen base. That puts him in runners in scoring position.
Well, he got the first two guys pretty quickly, Kelby Tomlinson and Gregor Blanco. He walked Gorky's Hernandez, and now he's full on McCutchen. You got Posey on deck. You want to get McCutchen, and he lost him.
Back-to-back walks for Wade. This walks 10 and 11 on the year.
A little bit high. More than you'd expect.
Well, in 22 and 2/3 inning.
4.5 walk per 9 inning rate, which is unlike Wade Davis. So Buster Posey singled and scored in the first, 1 for 4. A Rockies killer through the years. And you have real good speed on the base pass. 1-0. Posey lifetime .382 at Coors Field in more than 60 ball games.
Believe it or not, this is just the first time they've matched up against each other.
I cannot believe that. Are you serious?
Yeah, I had to triple check. First time.
Well, you know, you think about it, Davis in the American League for so long, but this ball's fouled off. I guess it's not as surprising.
No, but maybe last year with the Cubs, you would have thought that at least once.
Sure. And, you know, interleague play, you're talking about two guys who've been around for a while now, 2 stars. And the Giants have played the Royals a couple times the last few years. 1-1.
This is where he was with McCutchen, 1-2.
Posey is a hard guy to get to chase. The great ones have a defined strike zone, and they don't leave it very frequently.
Even with 2 strikes.
Got to make one more pitch if you're Wade Davis. Get out of this jam.
Almost like you're talking about, Drew. That pitch well away from Buster. He's just trying to fight it off.
I also think the great ones, Huey, can make late decisions to stay in an at-bat.
Yeah, they can. And then that's what Buster does. He waits and waits, sees where the pitch is. It doesn't commit too soon. That's why he's the 5th hardest to strike out in the National League. Just once every 8, almost 8.5 at bats, plate appearances.
Another 1-2.
Hit it.
Wow, this thing is getting real sticky. 2 walks and a hit batter, and he was ahead of both McCutchen and Posey, 1-2. And now Brandon Belt steps up.
And also, you're talking about 22 pitches now.
Got him on the hand.
Left hand.
Yeah. The irony of one night to the next. Last night, the Rockies forced to put him in the 9th inning because there was some traffic out there in an 8-2 game, and Buddy wanted to put the game down. He threw 1 pitch. He got a line drive back at him, caught it, and doubled a man off third base. End of the evening on 1 pitch, and now trying to get the Rockies in a tie game to the bottom of the 9th. He gets 2 quick outs, and now all of a sudden he's in the mid-20s in terms of pitches thrown. Belt tonight is 1 for 4. He singled and scored in the 6th inning.
Well, just like Posey, Belt has never faced Wade Davis.
Ground ball foul. This third out's becoming elusive.
Yeah, more pressure on Chris too. If that slider, curveball's down in the dirt, with Nolan way off the bag at third base, Yorkis Hernandez could get at least a third, sometimes half of the way down to home. So it doesn't have to kick away very far.
One and one. And what you rely on here as a Rockies fan looking in is that Wade Davis has a wealth of experience, been in so many difficult situations, and is, as we explained earlier, unflappable. 1-1 on Belt, and a late swing, 1-2. So here we are again at a 1-2 count.
Third straight batter.
The Belt, unlike Posey, a little bit more of a free swinger.
Yeah, you could get
a little more chase with Brandon Belt.
Yeah, you get him chased away, you can get him chased down and in. And so if you're Chris too, again,
Paul, you got to block it.
You got to block it, but then just step on home.
1-2. He blocked it. 2-2. This is a huge pitch here because you don't want it to go to 3-2.
Want to put the guys in motion.
And also Belt will get something in the strike zone at that point.
Yeah.
Two and two, bases full of Giants. And a soft liner caught at second by McMahon, and everybody can breathe at home again. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th. The Rockies need one to shake hands. Sportsnet RM on Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies taco special when the Rockies score 7 or more in a ball game. Drew Goodman, Jeff Houston, Ryan Spilborghs. That was a little too much drama in the top of the 9th. Wade Davis walked to and hit a batter, but works out of it as he gets belt on the soft liner to McMahon. So now the Rockies can win it here in the bottom of the 9th. Watson stays out there with all lefties coming, you'd assume, though right now Daniel Castro's in the on-deck circle, not David Dahl. McMahon will lead it off, and we'll get a pinch hitter and then Charlie Blackmon. Castro again, the only right-handed bat available. Outside on McMahon.
Well, a lot depends obviously on what happens with McMahon. You know, if he gets on, you send Castro up the bunt. I think that Bruce Bochy would leave him in. David Dahl has a helmet on, but you could also do a 2-for-1 where you would announce Daniel, they'd go to the right-hander, you'd pull him back, send Dahl up.
Two 2-0 on McMahon. On the corner. 2-1. Say it for tomorrow, and you worry about today first,
Yeah.
if you're Buddy Black, but tomorrow the Rockies back end. Ottavino's on the DL now, and Wade Davis probably unavailable.
Yeah.
And another strike.
Wait 27 pitches.
And even though it was only 1 yesterday, you have to get heated up in the bullpen. That's all taken into account. Kyle Freeland going tomorrow for the Rockies. I hope to get great length out of Kyle. Typically you do. Strike 3. Freeland upset with himself. Never fired the bat. And saw the same pitch after 2-0 3 straight times. McMahon, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and it was 3 fastballs.
So here comes David Dahl, not Castro, with nobody on.
What a series it was for David Dahl against the Reds. 4 hits, home run, double, 4 RBIs.
One on David. As you said, he's got to bring a lot of confidence to the plate.
Yeah, well, like Cargo.
Like Cargo, yeah.
Right.
Second deck home run 24 hours ago. We had a pitch to hit there. That was in the middle of the plate.
Both of them. He took the right path, just didn't get barrel squared up on it. Missed it by a couple grains.
Blackmon on deck, bottom of 9, 5 for the Rockies, 5 for the Giants. I don't know what's going to happen in this at bat, obviously. Karnak, I'm not. But I can tell you that David is seeing Watson pretty well.
Not bad at all. Even that last slider, tried to start it hip side and go inside, and he didn't flinch.
Borderline pitch, fortunately called a ball. 2-2. And this ball toward left center field, it's going to get down. So Dahl with a 1-out pinch single, winning runs aboard.
It's David's second hit, pinch hitting, now 2 for 7. off the label, but strong enough to hit it over the infield is right in front of Gregor Blanco in left field.
It's one of the reasons, one of several reasons people hit well at Coors Field. Huge outfield. The optics.
Yeah.
So when a hitter goes up there, sometimes you're at Wrigley Field. You played there.
Oh, it feels like there's 15 guys out in the field.
And then you come here, it's like there's 4 guys, right? On defense.
On defense, yeah.
You hit it anywhere.
Feel good. Feel confident.
Well, here's Charlie. Down low. Charlie, a base hit in the 7th inning, 1 for 4. Charlie in the air to left and sliding over is Blanco. 2 outs. He's hit pretty well. That'll bring up Noel Cuevas.
Bruce Bochy's still sitting.
Wondering if he would go to Strickland here. He's got Cuevas and then Arenado. If Noel reaches.
Yes, no doubt. But if Noel hits one in the gap with David's speed, this is a ball game.
1 for 4, single back in the 1st.
The outfielders for the Giants are playing no doubles. They backed up. That means that they're trying to cut that ball off from reaching the gaps.
You could see the Giants after this game. Teams smartly try to manipulate now that 10-day DL or use, send guys out when you're in Colorado. I'm thinking, like a Suarez who's been up and down. He's a rookie. Could send him out and bring an arm in.
Oh, yeah. Well, what they had to do yesterday in the Cubs is back-to-back games now where they've had to eat up a lot of innings out of their bullpen.
Yeah. First things first, the Rockies trying to win it here. 0-2 count on Cuevas with Dahl at first. And he takes off. They pick him off. And was he under the tag? Ball came out.
Stay on the back.
And David got hurt.
I think it's his leg. He went right into the leg of Brandon Crawford, right into Crawford's left leg. Because Crawford was trying to block the bag. Not in a dirty way, it's just what he was trying to do. But watch the legs get tangled up. And then the ball pops out. See, Brandon put his foot down. I'm sorry, I thought it's more off to the side. I thought it was closer to in front of the bag. It wasn't. He was just trying to reach for it. Both guys took a pretty good blow to the shin. That ball popped out. And Davis rolling over. He's trying to grab his leg, and then he sees the umpire rule him safe.
Well, to stay in the game, he's got to move a little better than that.
Yeah, that's not going to keep him in the game.
This kid has dealt with so many kind of freaky injuries, including losing his spleen
on a
in the minor leagues on a collision. And then last year, that rib injury that just kept flaring up, and he basically lost all of 2017.
Yeah.
He did on a swing.
That's right. That's just a hard baseball play. Nothing that Brandon Crawford's doing illegal. He's just trying to apply a tag. He has his foot in the ground. David sliding hard into the bag.
I think he's going to be able to stay in. Boy, that's good news.
Brandon Crawford also staying in the game. You can see both guys.
Yeah, and David,
not injured.
you know, just watching David now, he's moving better. I think everybody's had that situation where once the pain clears a little bit, you're able to get a little bit more mobility. So now he's out there for Cuevas. It's a 2-strike count still on Noel.
And the outfielders have come in for the Giants.
Cuevas almost reached out and poked that to right center field.
But I mean, Gorkys Hernandez playing a really shallow center field now.
Which is interesting because
With
there's two outs. And if he, you know, if he hits a high fly ball to, you know, a deep portion of the park that ordinarily you get under, it's going to drop probably. Another 0-2. 1-2.
Still watching David out at second base, hopping around.
A hit here could win it. High fly ball to left field and playable. We will go to the 10th inning, tied at 5. Game summary. The Rockies in the bottom of the first were down 2-0, not for long. Trevor Story's 11th of the year, a 3-run shot. And then Gorkys Hernandez with his 3rd home run in 5 games against the Rockies that tied it at 3. And this was the tail end of a sac fly and an 0-2 count from Ian Desmond. Desi's driven in a couple tonight. That tied it at 5. And that's where we reside right now as we go to the 10th inning. And the Rockies in the 10th will bring on the former Cleveland Indian star Brian Shaw. Brian looking to straighten things out. He has been in a rough place of late. And he will face Longoria, Crawford, and a pinch hitter.
Yeah, scored upon the last 3 appearances for Brian. 3 innings, 6 earned runs. That's tied for the longest streak of his career.
Well, it's not like the stuff is backed up because he still throws one of the hardest cutters in baseball. Had some command issues, and that's a good looking pitch to start out. 94 in there for a strike, and that cut about 8 inches away from Longoria. He's had a big ball game, 2 doubles, 3 driven in, 2 for 4. And this is a base hit. The go-ahead run aboard. The Giants in extra frames, 2 and 2, I should say, and the Rockies are 2-1.
The 29th appearance for Brian. That leads all of baseball. And what they've been working on, and what Bud talked about the other day with Brian, that he was a little too quick. I mean, he's got a very fast-paced, quick twitch type of delivery, but still trying to slow it down a half a beat.
Seems like all the misses have been hit in the air.
Yes.
Crawford down low.
Well, because the misses, if you're fast, most of the time you leave your arm behind, the ball stays up. So when the ball's up, it's going to get hit in the air with more frequency.
Whoa, way inside. 2-0 now. Rockies got out of a 2-out bases loaded situation in the 9th inning when Wade Davis got Brandon Belt to hit a little floater to second. And that's a base hit to center field. And the Giants have 2 men on.
And they're going to pinch hit Austin Jackson. He's going to be looking to lay down a bunt. There's a meeting about how they're going to play the bunt. Everybody's responsibility. Everybody's going to remind Ryan. That's what Nolan just went over a moment ago, to let him know what he has to do. Make sure the rookie is comfortable with his location on the field. We've seen the Rockies put the second baseman real close to the bag and move the shortstop over into the hole. And Nolan will twist his body almost at a 45 so he can see what the runner's doing at third.
Rockies ran the wheel play. Now Woodis will come down.
Is it
verbally tell Austin Jackson what he wants?
Well, he's going to tell him, if you see the wheel play again, it's okay to pull the bat back. That's the one thing. When you do the wheel play, you only get really one shot at it, and it has to be a strike from the pitcher. Because then after that, you got to play it normal. You got to play it where the shortstop's just going to hang around the bag. The second baseman will go over, and then it'll be a read at third by Nolan.
Jackson offered at it 1-1. Jackson puts pressure on the defense also because he runs well.
Yeah, and so you got to make a split-second decision on what you're going to do. And a lot of decision-making goes on Nolan, because he's got to say, do I stay back for the bag? Do I go and get that ball?
Story's going to stay in Longoria's hip pocket, and they almost had an opportunity at a back pick.
I think it was there. Maybe Chris didn't have a grip on the baseball, because Longoria is a base runner at second. When a guy bunts through the ball, you're thinking the ball is going to be down on the ground, so you start leaning towards third. Watch Longoria. He's leaning towards third. Uh-oh. And then has to end up diving back, but there was no throw.
1-2. And a ground ball to first, and what a job. They get the out. Yes. Wow. You see infield, outfield taken every day at every level, and the first baseman always throws to third base from behind the bag, and then they'll take the slow roller, which is a bunt, which you will see a third baseman have to go to third there. That play you almost never see in a game, and here it pays off. Desmond's left side of the infield arm.
But look where he caught it, though. He caught it at the 90 feet. He said, oh, okay, I can make that throw across there. And then Nolan with the tag, because he wasn't on the bag. In any event, you got one out. That lead runner's out.
That's a great job calling it by James Hoy, and a superb job, obviously, by Nolan to realize he'd come off.
And for Desi just to have the instincts to make that play.
And the guts.
The guts, too.
And there's a strike on Kelby Tomlinson, 2 for 4 tonight. You don't often write in your book 3-5.
No.
Shaw's not an easy guy to catch. It may be basically a one-pitch repertoire, but the ball cuts differently each time.
And he doesn't even know where it's going to cut or how much.
Crawford at second, Jackson at first, 1 out in the 10th. 5-5. Talked about the fact that Ottavino, with the slight external oblique strain on the disabled list, going to be down, somewhere in that, you hope just 10 days, less than 2 weeks. You don't know for a while. But other guys have to step up. Brian Shaw is one of those guys. He knows it. That is going to go foul.
Oh, the other guy, too. Jake McGee.
Well, those are veteran guys who are guys that know a ton of success, know postseason success.
And you brought him back to pitch in the 7th and 8th because you didn't know what Otto was going to do.
No,
right?
There's always going to be some good stories, and that's been a great story for the Rockies so far in 2018. The return to dominance of Adam Ottavino. They'll be without him for a little bit here. One and two. Can they turn 2 on this? Nope. And a good decision by Story. Tomlinson really runs well. So it'll be 1st and 3rd. 2 outs. And the second at bat for Gregor Blanco, who came in a couple of innings ago.
Good for Trevor not to rush that and come off the bag too soon. Not hit hard, and it's to Ryan's left. So just get that lead runner, get the second out, and get this last guy.
Blanco grounded to second in the 9th inning. That was against Wade Davis. More drama than the Rockies bargained for or would desire in both the 9th and 10th tonight. And a comebacker, and Brian's got it, and he gets out of it. Well done, Brian Shaw. First 2 men reached, and Shaw does not give up the go-ahead run. Rockies can win it in the bottom of the 10th inning. They'll have Nolan to lead it off. the Rockies having the middle of their lineup coming up. Bruce Bochy saying, I'm putting my closer out there right now. So Hunter Strickland, who's got 10 saves, is in there, and he'll face Nolan Arenado, Trevor Story, Carlos Gonzalez. That's the three due up for the Rockies. All they need is one.
Kind of reverse splits for Hunter Strickland, where left-handers hitting 049 against him, just 2 for 41, but righties 325 with 5 extra base hits.
Yeah, that is really weird
for a guy that throws hard.
You see 95 to 97. First pitch at 96 on the outside corner for a strike. Nolan is 0 for 3 and a walk.
A lot of matchups between these two, and Hunter's had the better of it through the first 14 as Nolan has just 2 hits. I never bet against Nolan.
Rockies have 1 walk-off win this year. That was the Tony Walters walk-off walk.
Yeah, let's have a walk-off hit.
Or a walk-off bomb. Those are most fun.
Those are great.
Nolan knows a thing or two about those. 2-1. Outside 3-1.
Where you start to see some patience from Nolan too. Willing to pass the baton if they don't throw him a strike.
Away, away, away. And that's ball 4. Winning run to first.
There's the patience.
Always getting better. As great as he's been, as hard as it is to get better when you've done what he's done. Now Trevor Story, who scored 3 runs so far tonight. 3-run home run. Reached on an error and scored in the 3rd. Sharp single in the 8th inning and would come around to score to tie the game on the Ian Desmond sac fly.
Nolan walked in the 1st inning. You know what happened after that? Trevor hit a home run. Nolan's walked in the 10th.
Boy, he had a nice swing at that pitch.
Nice smooth swing at that one.
Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Back-to-back 97-mile-an-hour fastballs from Hunter Strickland.
th game in Hunter's career he's pitched at Coors Field.
Heard so many managers describe how they go about extra innings. I know Jim Tracy used to say Felipe Alou taught him do everything you can to win it in 9, and after that, I'm not saying it's an ultimate, crapshoot, but you do everything to win the ball game in regulation. Well, that's what you're seeing Buddy do, and it's really what you're seeing Bruce Bochy do. He's saying we're going to try. We're trying to win it in 10. Now we're going to try to get it to the 11th. That's why he's playing his closer here, Strickland.
Because most of the times when it goes to extra innings, the advantage swings around to the visiting team.
Yes. 1-2. And it's in the air to deep center field, but it's playable. And Nolan's going to tag, and he's going to try to move up, and he'll get to second. It's a great read. It's one of the benefits of being, and take us through this, Huey, at first base and being able to see ball flight and reading the outfielder.
Because you can read it as you start to go back to the bag. So he got off there about halfway, maybe a third of the way, saw that the center fielder, Gorkis Hernandez, was going to catch it, and then he just put his head down. And I'm just going out on a limb here. This might be the first time I've seen Nolan head first slide.
And what was our conversation about during the pregame show with Jenny and Corey and early in the ballgame? Billy talked about, how's his groin?
It's just fine.
I guess.
It's just fine.
So now the winning run at second, and they don't want to deal with Cargo. They're going to set up a force all around. And Ian Desmond will come up.
They've seen Cargo and the way he's been swinging it. But Desi tonight has 2 RBIs and a base hit. And it was still the right play for Nolan to go back and tag up. Then it forces the hand of Bochy.
Now let's say that ball's kind of a high drive in the gap where you're not sure if the center fielder or whatever, right field, left field, you got to go at least halfway or 2/3 of the way, because if it goes down, you got to try to potentially score, at least get to third.
Different play.
Different play. So here we go. First and second, 1 out. Desmond at the plate. 0-1. Desmond's had a good ball game. Hit by a pitch. RBI single in the third, and then that key line drive down the right field line that was caught by McCutcheon on an 0-2 count, but plenty deep enough to get Story home with the equalizer. That's why we're still playing. Called strike 2. Desmond will try to come through again with 2 strikes. Line drive right field. No catch. Arenado will get to third. Bases loaded. Desmond again with 2 strikes. And it was actually a pretty good break for the Giants. That very easily could have kicked away from McCutcheon, and then Arenado would have walked home.
Sure, and for Nolan, he doesn't know. At first, I think he thought this ball was getting down. And we talked about McCutcheon's speed. But Desi staying on that one like he did with the sac fly. Behind in the count, 0-2, laces it to right. Now McCutcheon comes on, and that glove, once he hits, it breaks the wrist and the glove pendulum, and it pops out. And now Nolan's like, do I go? Do I not go? I can only get to third.
Bases loaded, 1 out. Iannetta will try to lift the baseball. The outfield comes in. The infield set for 2 up the middle, even on the corners. And a called strike, borderline pitch. It's 0-1. Iannetta tonight is 0 for 4. Can make that a distant memory if he can come through here and drive in Nolan with the game winner. 5-5, bottom of 10. Up the middle, on through, and the Rockies will win it. Chris Iannetta comes through. 6-5, Colorado. And that's a happy Memorial Day for the home club.
A lot of drama the last couple innings. Well done, Rockies.
Rockies get it done. Second walk-off win of the year. They improved to 3-1 on this most important and lengthy 9-game homestand. And it's never a bad day to beat the San Francisco Giants. That's now 11 of their last 12, Huey, here at Coors Field against San Francisco.
Always feels nice to beat a division opponent, but the Giants are one of those teams you just like to keep piling it on to.
The Rockies maintain their game-and-a-half lead in the National League West. So Chris Iannetta got enough of the baseball to drive it up the middle. And Nolan Arenado scores the game winner. We go downstairs. Ryan Spilborghs with Chris Ionetta. Spilly.
Chris,
Yes.
we're going to look over here, I think. I think we're over here. How does it feel? Walk-off hit after a game like this?
Feels great. You know, battle back and forth, cat and mouse game. Felt really good.
When you see just the offense starting to come together, putting at bats together, Ian Desmond, you see Nolan taking second base on a fly ball. What does it mean about this offense?
We got a bunch of really great hitters. You know, we've struggled a little bit, but there's way too many really good hitters on this team for us not to succeed.
On Memorial Day, a lot of fans have been here watching the Rockies. What do you want to say to the fans?
Just thanks for supporting us. Thanks for supporting our troops, and thanks for all those who have fallen.
How important was it for you tonight, seeing the bullpen being able to... All right. There we go. Jenny, Corey, everybody, positive thoughts. Positive thoughts. Back to you guys.
Positive thoughts.
Positive thoughts indeed. And a wetsuit for Ryan Spilborghs along with Chris Ionetta. No better way to end Memorial Day than extra innings. Chris Ionetta 0 for 24 with runners in scoring position before he knocked in that winning
And he
run.
was 0 for 4 in the game before that, but you get to be the hero on Memorial Day. That was an awesome job by Chris Ionetta. Awesome battle by the Colorado Rockies to win a game. They get a walk-off win. We'll show you all the highlights coming up after the break.